I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up! That's right. It is I. Who is he? Who is me? I'm John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life, and you have landed in exactly the right spot. That's right, because you have gotten up way too early with Garage Gym Life. This is going to be an awesome show. You see how amped up I am? You see how amped up I am? I put on my good cologne for this. We got a big show today. All right. First of all, in the first hour, we're going to have news and other things. And I'm going to talk about all the stuff that has come across my desk, including some things that I have never talked about on this show before. Also, in the first hour, we're going to have a brand new Recliner of Rage where I tell you why I am mad this week. Okay. And so I promise you this one, I don't know if you guys are ready for this one, but I'm going to tell you, because I'm going to not only tell you I'm mad, I'm going to pose a question to you. And if the answer is what I think it is, I'm going to get mad some more. Okay. So just stand by for that at 6:45 a.m. Then in the second hour, that's going to be 7 a.m. Eastern time, we're going to have strength athlete, friend of the show, Dustin Payne, making his Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life debut. He's been in the live chat. Now he's going to be on your screen. So brace yourself for that. In the third hour, 8 a.m. Eastern time, we're going to have Nicholas Rolnick, DPT, from SportGrips, and he's going to be joining the show. Last week, I unveiled a product that he had sent me. We talked about it a little bit. But today, he is going to be here to answer our questions. That's right. I got questions, and I know you got questions because I saw the questions y'all asked me last week. Stuff I couldn't answer, but Nicholas knows the answers to those questions, and he's going to be here this morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time to answer your questions. All right. If this is your first time watching the show, you're like, what have I stumbled across? You're in the right place. First of all, it's going to be okay. Here, you need some directions. Step one, hit the like button. Hit subscribe, okay? Then all will be revealed to you over the next 3 hours as we have a good time talking about the topics that matter to the home gym community, and we get your live reactions along the way. Now, next step, you know what's supposed to happen right now. We got to go to the comment section and see who's here. Let's go. Step one, first up in the building, my guy Carlos from CBS TCR. Showed up at 5:07 a.m. So first of all, Carlos, I hope you are healing up. Carlos, a little bit, he got a busted, I don't know if it's a wing. He got one busted roller skate, okay? So he's not out there walking the main streets of Houston. So let's see here. But he is, so he woke up a little late, but he is here, 5:07, first in the building. He said, welcome to the best conversation you'll have all week. Wake up, wake up, wake up. You dang right, Carlos. Let him know. Right behind him, Jared Martin showed up at 5:34 a.m. Says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jared. What's up, man? Trevor arrived at 5:55. What's good, my man? He said, what's good? Trevor, we have a segment dedicated to you today, okay? So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Letha Cannon. Letha is going to be on the show. Personal trainer extraordinaire and all-around good people. Met her in California. Letha's going to be on the show pretty soon, and I cannot wait to find out all about her home gym and her personal training business. She's going to be, I know you're going to be in and out because she's training clients this morning, but as you get chances, go ahead and chime in, especially when Nicholas Rolnick is on here, because that way you can find out if his SportGrips Sidewinder Revolution product is right for your home gym. Eric Echoes, we're going to be giving you a shout out in about 20 minutes, Eric. But for right now, good morning. What's up? What's up? Let's see here. Let's see here. I did not need to check the mic. I did, but I do not need to check the mic. All right. So not that this is related in any way to what's going on, but I'm just going to ask y'all, and I'm not even necessarily saying that this actually happened, but all I'm going to say to y'all, have you ever tried to shave and pee at the same time as a man? Okay. For that matter, as a woman, if you ever shaved and peed, you know what? Don't tell me. I'm not saying that happened. It's just information gathering. Just want to know if y'all have ever tried it. Okay. Don't worry about it. That ain't got nothing to do with anything. All right. Anyway, But let's see here. We're all here. Let's see here. And Trevor says, now I got him worried. Oh, man, don't be worried. Don't worry. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Eric, come on, man. You don't shave your chest? Come on, man. I know you shave your chest. You look like the type of dude that shaves his chest. Anyway, all right. So now that you guys know what's going on, you know who's here, so you know you're not the only ones in the building. All 303 of you, first of all, go tell everybody else about the show. Tell them to come watch it. And then while you guys are doing that, I'm going to set up the next segment, which is, that's right, news and other things. Let's go. All right, so welcome to News and Other Things. This is where we talk about the stuff that's home gym related that has come across my desk. But as always, the first thing we need to do is we got to check and see who turned in their homework, which means it is time for, that's right, the first screen share of the day. Get loud, get loud, get loud. Okay, wait, calm down, settle down. If I don't see, y'all know how it goes, man. If this is your first time watching the show, if I don't calm them down, they would just keep on screaming. So let's not. We gotta just. I let them have a little bit. Then I say, okay, y'all, you gotta stop. All right, let's go. Community section. All right, so we're gonna sort by newest. Bam, there we go. All right, so first of all, October 1st, which was 2 days ago. So most of you have already seen this, but the new ATX lever arm video is live on Carp's gym. So it looks like we don't have any comments on that post, but there we go. All right, but I know that Carp did get some people jumping into that video. Well, not jumping into the video itself, but watching the video and commenting. I was one of those people because I am a friend. I'm loyal member of the FOC, Friends of Carp. If you're not, you need to be, okay? But that link, and in fact, for anybody who has not seen the video, let's go ahead. Like, I'm not really into lever arms, but like I said, I'm part of the FOC, so I went ahead and I checked it out. And let's see here. So what I'm doing right now is getting the link, that share link, because I'm nice like that, and I am going to put it in the live chat so y'all can watch it after this show is over. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Okay? But you can watch it. I just gave it a link so you guys can watch it. Make sure you drop a comment, even if in fact, everybody who's watching this now, go to the link. I'm also going to put the link in the video description. Click the link to watch Carp's ATX lever arm video. And I want all of y'all to click yep. Okay? YEP. Okay? If you know, you know. You got to always do that on Carp's videos. All right? If you know, you know. Jared, you telling me you've never shaved and peed at the same time? Okay. All right. You know. I'm just asking. I'm not saying I did it. I'm not even using that to explain this little blood spot on my chin. Okay. I'm just asking if anybody else has done it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm doing. Okay. Let's see. I'm just asking questions. That's why I'm here. Ask questions. Let's see here. Speaking of Jared threw a post here. So y'all check this bar out. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is, you know what? I bet you I can do this. Zoom. Look at that. All right. All right. Let's go up. In fact, let's zoom some more. Couple more. One more. There we go. All right. Now, that should give you guys a good shot at it. All right. So, this is. What exactly did you ever say, Jared? This is the latest bar that's going to be arriving at Jared's house. Okay. That's why I said Jared relates to this, but I'm not sure. And I commented on it, but I'm not sure if you ever answered the question about whether you're from Equipment Exercise. We want to know what you named it. Oh yeah. Okay. So Jared said, this is the M Press bar. Okay. All right. So as I see what you did there. Impressed. All right. So that's the Impress bar. And as I said in my comment, this reminds me of the Zach Evanesh Ferrugia bar. So it's basically, so Zach Evanesh is a coach. Jason Ferrugia is a coach. They were really both really influential as far as getting people into more functional training, as opposed to just like bodybuilding, machine-based training. And Dean created a bar based upon their specifications, and he called it the ZEE-Ferrugia bar, right? So my brother, heck, he might still have it. My brother had it, and I really liked it. And so I told Jared that this bar reminds me of that, because but the only difference is this bar has 2 angle grips, and the ZEE Ferrugia bar had 1. But Jared said that he's familiar with that. He just decided that he wanted to have an additional set of handles. And so he went to Dean, which is honestly one of the reasons why Dean and other fabricators are popular, because you don't have to go with just, the standard off the shelf inventory. You can say, hey, I've got an idea for this, or this is my problem that I need you to solve. And then he'll work to create a solution for you, which is dope. So I'm glad you got that. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah. Speaking of equipment exercise, I'll tell you something. Okay. He posted the word Schmetterling. Okay. Now so the bar is not from Dean, but he made the neural handles. So he modified the handles. The Z Evanesh Ferrugia bar did Dean modify that, or is it just I need more answers. I need a point of clarification. I need answers. So we're not going to go to this here. We're going to go back to Jared's post. So this is a custom bar, knurled axle grips. Okay, so you're saying Dean's not involved with this at all, Jared? Or he made the handles that are on the bar. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so Arm Assassin made the bar, and Dean sent the neural section for him to add to the bar. That's even cooler. I love that kind of collaboration. That's even cooler. I love it. Yeah, man. Nice. And back to this, Eric Eccles. I want to know why Eric Eccles knows. Eric is, I'm going to make him call him like an on-the-spot correspondent, because Eric knows everything about all these little things. Oh, well, actually, here's the behind the scenes. Dang, Eric knows it all. Okay, if you need to know something, Eric is like, remember Kevin in Japan was telling us about what Rep was going to release before they were willing to admit it? All right, so Eric Eccles is in that same family of informants. All right, there we go. But anyway, so now we've got that sorted out, because I don't like giving out inaccurate information. Thank you for the correction. Now, equipment exercised. Let me tell you something, all right? So he posted in the community section, and I'm glad for anybody who wants to post, but he posted the word Schmetterling. And so I need to respond to you in case any of you don't know what a Schmetterling is. Here's my response to that. This show is a no butterfly zone. Okay? One more time. There we go. All right. So that is all I have to say about that post. All right. And looks like we got, for those of you who watched Carlos's review of the Mikolo Anubis, where he had the issue with the nameplate, where the L on the nameplate was not cut out, Mikolo sent him a replacement. And apparently that's not the picture of the replacement, but you know what? That's okay. There we go. All right. So that is the replacement plate. That's how it's supposed to look. That's how it's supposed to look, Carlos. There we go. Good. I'm glad that they resolved it, and they actually resolved it pretty quickly too. So that's a good thing. I like it when brands are responsive. They don't just wait around forever. Okay. I like it even better when they don't try to get you to beta test stuff, but that is not this situation here. All right. Let's see here. All right. Now, Let's see here. And this right here, I went to here because I wanted you guys to see. This was my comment on Carp's lever arm video. Lots of buzz for the video. People love their lever arms. There you go. And I thought this was funny. So I posted that I had some, we had a bunch of packages in the gym. And so I spent Wednesday basically putting stuff together, unboxing and putting stuff together. And then a little bit yesterday as well. Some more stuff came in yesterday as well. Naomi unboxed that stuff. The videos related to that are going to be coming out. Actually, one unboxing video has already been posted in the members only section. So if you want to check it out, it is my unboxing of the Mikolo Bastet 2.0. You got to enunciate when you say that name. Okay. The Mikolo Bastet 2.0. Anyway, so what's funny about that is my mom, I told you guys, my mother watches all the stuff. She watches all the videos. She sees all the posts I make, and I really appreciate all her support. And she makes comments sometimes that, I know it shows her sense of humor. And she said, she asked like if anything that's in those boxes is going to provide material for the Recliner or Rage. So hopefully no, hopefully no, which is what I said to her. All right, so let's go ahead and then stop sharing. And because all of that was the first segment, which was, did everybody turn in their homework? Now let's go to the comment section and see what let's catch up on the comments. All right. Equipment Exercise, who I just mentioned, said good morning. What's up? Morning. What's up? What's up? Let's see. I think I missed somebody's comment. I want to make sure I didn't. There. I knew I missed somebody's comment. Holy Basil said, I'm not a fan of lever arms. I sold mine. Maybe if I had a rig where I could afford to leave them up instead of taking them off and putting them on. Dude, that's why I don't like them. Well, that's just one reason why I don't like them. To me, JP Finley, who is an alumnus of my high school, y'all don't know who that is, but if you are a fan of Washington Commanders like I am, then you may know him because he's one of the reporters who covers the team. And his radio show, B. Mitch and Finley, is actually one of the inspirations for this show because, I watch it and all that, and the way that they do their segments and whatnot. But anyway, he said something that I was like, you know what, that's actually a good point. That's actually a good way to live. JP said, don't yuck another man's yum, right? So although I do not like, use, need, or want lever arms, I recognize that other people do. So I don't ever it's like if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So I don't normally make a big deal about them. But I agree with you. Like I don't like them, but I don't dislike them not just because they're in the way all the time, but I have used them, but I have yet to try any lever arm from any of the multiple companies I've tried them with that has done anything for me that I felt like I couldn't do with either a landmine, dumbbells and an incline bench, or a cable setup. And I'm sure that there's somebody out there who's going to say, oh, well, you could actually do it. I get it. But I'm just telling you that for me, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. You know what I mean? All the stuff you got to go through to get them set up to be able to use them for that one specific thing isn't worth the amount of effort. So I can get those same things done in other ways and not take up space on my rack. So that's the point of all of that. So Holy Basil, I agree with you. Thank you. Appreciate you for commenting. Let's see here. Zach Evanesh is an OG, but Trevor said Zach Evanesh is an OG, but I didn't hop on the influencer train, so a lot don't know him. Yeah, Zach, I'm telling you, Zach Evanesh is he actually did an Instagram live earlier this week with the guys from MaceFit, from Frank Demio from MaceFit. But yeah, so I wish I had. It's in the other room, but my kids, when they were training for wrestling, and actually I used it as well, but he released a program called Underground Beast Strength, And I know guys like guys who actually like use that as the template to prepare for their first strongman competition. All right. And so, and I use it. I really like it. It's honestly a really good program. It was a PDF. We downloaded the PDF and we have printed it. And every time, occasionally the pages start to get messed up, and we'll just copy, go photocopy them, put them back in the binder, and like that thing stays in constant rotation. If I ever just need a program that's going to give me good all around fitness, meaning the ability to do a lot of different things, then I go back to the Underground Beast Strength program. The only thing I don't like about it is I like training with percentages, and it's a little difficult to train with percentages using that program. I mean, like, for example, he has you lifting rocks, heavy rock. He's like, go find a heavy rock. Okay. There's like part of the program where he has you go to the park and you're lifting a picnic table. Okay. It's kind of hard to use progressive resistance with a picnic table. I'm sure we could figure out a way to do it. And if any of y'all wants to do that, do it and video it and make sure I see the video. Okay. But I'm just saying that's the only reason I don't do his program all the time. And that was not sponsored. I just think Zach's a good dude. And I haven't talked to him in a long time, but he's a good dude. Now scroll on down. Eric said, because I got friends in low play. Okay, I see that. I got it, man. Eric has his pulse. He's got his finger on the pulse of what's going on. All right. Hey, look, I'm telling you, I be watching equipment exercise. I saw your thing. All right. There'll be no butterfly sponsored material in my show. Let's see here. All right. Now, Vintage Weights. What's up, Rob? Good morning. I need to give you a call, Rob. I'll give you a call tomorrow morning. I got all kinds of videos to edit and whatnot today, but if you have any time, in fact, I'll tell you what, I'll shoot you a text, and if you have time, then I'll call you. Then we can do a quick 10-minute phone call. But anyway, let's see. Hey, what's up? 332 in the building. Says, hey. What's up? All right. Yes, a rock or something. Yeah, Trevor, I'm telling you. Trevor knows. I'm telling you, Zach's programs, he'll be like, all right, go find something heavy. All right, now we're going to program it. But I promise you, it works, man. His stuff works. All right, now, all that was segment one, but we're going to segue into what I promised. Trevor, we're going to help you out. So, Trevor had, I don't remember how long it's been since you asked me this, but Trevor is looking for a new steel shaker bottle to be his daily driver, okay? And without getting all into all the stuff that he asked, he posted some of his questions in a video that I never anticipated would be so popular. It is my video about steel shaker bottles. And let's see here. I believe it's the best. So my YouTube short on steel shaker bottles. Let me see here. This sucker has, let me look at the analytics for this thing here. So my YouTube short on steel shaker bottles has gotten 330,837 views since it was published. And it's literally just a video of my shaker bottle, and I put stuff in it. All right. It's literally just me putting water. You know what? Here, I'll let y'all see the video. You want to see it? All right. Hopefully y'all couldn't hear all that racket there. All right. So let's go ahead and I had to do all that just so y'all can see the video. All right. So this is it right here. So this is the entire video. Okay. Literally, this is the entire video. It's me shaking up stuff in my steel. And that's it, starting over the beginning. I put water in. I put my greens drink in there. That was my bold bottle. And then I shake it up. And that's the entire video. Okay. It's got 3,000 likes. Like I said, over 300,000 views. Well, but that video is related to another video that I did where I compare a bunch of shaker bottles. So I said, what's the best steel shaker bottle at the time? And I compared, And so anyway, so Trevor asked some questions about the Bold bottle, which I no longer own. I gave it to my son, and he loves the thing. But I gave it to him, so I don't have it anymore. He was just asking me about it. So today, I'm going to answer your questions live, Trevor. Okay, live. And so for all of you who are not interested in steel shaker bottles, and you wish that this wasn't happening, say thank you, Trevor. For those of you who are fascinated by steel shaker bottles and you're looking for a steel shaker bottle as well, this information is going to be useful to you. Once again, say thank you, Trevor. Okay, so let's go. So let's start. First one. This is the Shakespeare. What I like about this is you got, I don't know if you can see, but you can kind of see. So it's got both metric and imperial measurements on the outside of the bottle. Okay, so reason why I like that is because now you know how much volume this actually holds. Okay, the part that's not as cool about it being on the outside is that the liquid goes on the inside. So how do you know that it's gonna be enough liquid, right? Answer: they got it on the inside as well. So you've got ounces. It's the same measurements, but they're on the inside. Okay, so this thing on the inside it goes up to 20 ounces. On the outside, it only goes up to 18 because obviously you want to leave some space for the whatever you're putting in there, right? So if you fill this all the way up with liquid, you're not gonna have, just because of how physics work, you won't have enough room for ice and the powder, right? It is exactly because you sent me a bunch of texts that should have been comments on the video, Trevor. All right? It's exactly because of that. Also because I was driving. When you sent me the text, I was like, I don't have any of this stuff with me. So the thing with me about text is if you text me, I try to, if I do respond, I'm trying to like give you the information I can like then and there. And I don't like texting, however, because if I text too much, it feels like I'm writing notes in class to another dude. And I'm, and then, so yeah, I don't mind texting my wife, but to me, actually, to be honest with you, that's not even fair. I just don't like texting in general. I figure like a text is what you send when you don't have time to talk. And if you end up texting like 6 times, to me, that means you got time to talk. So let's just have a conversation. But anyway, I understand that there are extenuating circumstances, but yeah, the answer to your question is yes, this is exactly related to that exchange. All right. So anyway, what I like about this is this reminds me of when I was, this is back when I was in the plastic shaker bottle era. And I was like, how come somebody doesn't just make something that's like whatever? I don't drink, by the way. So that'll explain why I say it the way I say it. So how come somebody doesn't make something that's like whatever bartenders use when they make those drinks, when they're doing like the thing they shake? That's actually how I said it. Where like they're shaking the thing up, right? Because I was asking Naomi, I said, don't bartenders have this thing where you see them in the movies shaking up stuff, right? All right. Why doesn't somebody just do that for protein shakes and pre-workout and stuff like that? Well, I feel like the Shakespeare is the answer to that. This thing is, you see that there's no ball, there's nothing in here except the interior of the bottle. And nevertheless, because of the shape of the container, I find that this thing mixes up stuff really, really smoothly. Downsides of it are this thing is huge. Okay, so it doesn't fit in all of our cup holders, which makes it not as like in the car, makes it not as portable. And if you drop it, this is my second one. If you drop this thing and this part breaks off, they may have changed it, but when I dropped the one I had before, they made me buy an entirely new shaker bottle. And I didn't reach out trying to get a free one. I bought this and I reached out to them and said, hey, can I need to get a replacement, this thing, sliding part, because mine broke. And they said, no, you're going to have to buy a whole new bottle. We don't have replacement parts. I'm like, what? Seriously? No. All right. So so that is the downside of that. However, it is, if you're looking for something that you can mix-up that works very well. And it's very, very easy to clean. If you're one of those people that doesn't like plastic touching your mouth, then well, this part I don't believe is plastic either. I forgot what it is, but I did pull it up. So let's go look, find out what this thing is. Yeah, Shakespeare. All right, what is the lid made of? Let's go here. Easy capsule shape, blah blah blah. Slide cap. That's what they call it. I will not be joining their mailing list. Let's read more. And also, it's not dishwasher safe. Now, full disclosure, this thing has been in our dishwasher all kinds of times, okay? Because we like to risk it all sometimes over here. Apparently, they made the interior of this thing with electrolysis. But guess what? It's not answering the question that I wanted the answer to, which is this part plastic? So I don't know. But apparently, you can also mix up fruit with this, which is an important point as we move to the next shaker bottle. Let me just reach down here and whip this out. All right, so here we go. So now this is the ice shaker, and I went ahead and had my guy customize it because when I at the time that I bought this is a 26 ounce. When I bought this, they didn't have the option for customizing just one. You had to buy in bulk. I wasn't about that life because I don't know 500 other people that would have wanted this at the time. I was like, I ain't about to do all that. So this is the ice shaker. I like the so that's good information. So Anand says that first of all, good morning, like Kanye West says, good morning. But he says they sell the tops for the Shakespeare bottles now separately. So that's good. However, they made me mad, so now I'm done with them. All right. Nah, I'm playing. I might go ahead and order another one. I don't know. Look, let me tell you something though. Here's the thing, man. And in fact, I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen so y'all can see this. Since you brought that up, let's go. Get rid of that. We have gone. There we go. That's not the right. There we go. All right. So Shakespeare. All right. So this one is $70. Okay. And the one that I had is this one, all right, which is $50. So I like it, but I don't like it, for like $70 worth and even $50. So like if I bought this again, that would be 3 times buying the same thing. Nah, I just can't. I can't do it. All right, so now let's go to ice shaker. So this is the ice shaker. You can get it available in all these colors. $34.99. Okay. Remember, we just looked at a $70 shaker bottle. I don't know about all that, Jim. I don't know, Jim. All right. So ice shaker, most of you guys are familiar with it. It's got the in this case, it's got the numbers on the inside to let you know how much liquid you're putting in there. Also comes with this. Now, I was a little bit confused. Stop sharing for a second. I was a little bit confused about this part when I first got it because I thought this is so you could put like fruit in here or whatever and infuse it. No, this is so that ice doesn't get in your mouth when you're drinking through the lid, right? You're drinking through here and you don't want ice. If you're one of those people, I don't know, you got bit by ice when you were a kid and you don't want ice getting in your mouth. All right, so they created this plastic barrier to protect you from the ice. All right. What I don't like about this. So what I like about this is this part right here broke. Okay. This is a recurring theme with me, I guess. The tops of shaker bottles breaking. But this broke, and then I was able to order just this part. Okay. However, now this comes out all the time. All right. It literally comes out all the time. And so it's a pain because I always have to put it back in. But it's not hard to put back in. It's just annoying because I have to put it back in. This is plastic. So if you're an anti-plastic person, I got bad news for you. This is plastic. I like the fact that it seals pretty easily. And it's got the little inner ring. It's fairly easy to take all that out so that you can clean it. And I will say that there's also inner silicone ring on this one, which is how you keep it tight, keep the seal tight. But periodically you need to replace that silicone ring. Again, Shakespeare is expensive. Anand says that now you can get just the top. I don't know if you can get just a silicone ring, but occasionally, for the sake of not catching some sort of horrible stomach food poisoning thing, you can't. You need to replace the silicone ring that goes in there. And I found that it was a lot easier to do that and less expensive to do that with the ice shaker. Okay. Shout out to the Gronk brothers for that. All right. So that's Shakespeare. We'll be back to Shakespeare in a second. This was going to be my daily driver, but then I got mad at it. All right. So I'll tell you what. So this is the Activate shaker bottle from Stanley. This is 20 ounces. It's $40. So it's between the cost of the Shakespeare and the ice shaker. However, this is the 20 ounce. But somebody asked me how much actual liquid you can fit in here. And the answer, and I'll give you the answer. All right. And matter of fact, put your guesses in the chat. How many ounces do you think this 20-ounce bottle actually holds in terms of actual fluid? While I'm waiting to see what y'all's answers are, I'll tell you about some of the other features. So it's got this little compartment here at the bottom. And you can put, I don't know, keys, vitamins. I guess you probably put like some powder, some fluid in there. I mean, not fluid, but powder. But if you do that, you need to be careful, because when you take this out, you got to make sure that you don't spill the junk all over the place, right? Let's go to the Activate here. All right. So let's see here. All right. So now, unlike the Bold bottle, the Bold was the first shaker bottle. No, it's the second shaker bottle I've ever seen. The shaker bottle they offer from our guys at G Code Nutrition, friends of the show. Shout out to G Code. Make sure you use promo code Best Gym in Town when you shop G Code Nutrition to get my favorite pre-workout, Vice. But anyway, so they had a shaker bottle. It was plastic, unfortunately, but the bottom came off, and you could store protein, keys, a $5 bill, whatever in there. So, but the Bold bottle had it as well. Now this here, you see it's translucent, and it holds a few ounces of whatever, at least a serving or so of your whatever you want to put in there. Let me see what so this is all right. So this is a 3-ounce container. So you can put up to 3 ounces of something in there. So that is a plus. I like that, because let's say you're one of those people that likes going to a public gym for whatever reason. Almost fumble, but fumble recovery. All right. He bobbled the catch, but he secured it. All right. So if you're one of those people who likes going to a public gym for some reason, you can fill this with pre-workout, and then you can have your post-workout, maybe BCAAs or whatever in here. I'm sure they have a water source at said gym or public establishment, and then you can have your pre and post-workout just with this one thing. All right, let's see what the guesses are. Trevor says 24 ounces. All right. Keeping in mind that this is a 20-ounce bottle, but okay. That's all right. That's all right. I never knock a man. It's the power of imagination. It's 2025. We can do all kinds of stuff. But realist, he also said 14. Okay. Well, both of those are wrong, Trevor. This thing only holds. Let me see here. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. So, all right. 16. Yeah. So this holds, there you go, Aden, 16 ounces. All right. So that means there are 4 unused ounces here. But realistically, it's not that it's unused. It's because of the additional storage. So it's 20 ounces, but you give up 4 ounces so that you can have the additional storage. All right. Now, you see what I'm holding in my hand here? This is what at my house, we call this useless pain in the behind. Useless pain in the rear end. Okay, that's right, kids. For those of you who are in the car, ride or line, watching or listen to this while your parents are dropping you off. Rear end is the word we're going to use. All right, this thing is annoying. Now, I'll tell you what they say it's for. Okay. It is supposedly for where'd you go? Where are we at here? Click on this. Look at all your components. Let me just go ahead and share the screen with you, because y'all might want to see this as well. Let's activate. All right. There we go. All right. So this is supposed to be a strainer for smooth sips and to infuse your water with lemons or some sort of other fruit. All right. In actual practice, it's annoying because, as you may know, human beings come with two hands. Sometimes you only get half that, in which case, I'm sorry. But let's say you got two hands. All right. You take the top off, set it down to the side. You take this out because you need to put the powder or the ice in here, right? That means this has to come out. Where are you going to put it? Now, when I explained this problem to my wife, she said, well, why can't you just put it inside the, here, let's get rid of this. Why can't you just put it inside the cap? All right. You can set it on top of the cap, but it doesn't go in there. So when you set the cap down, the cap will tilt just because of how it's shaped. And then this always falls off. So it's annoying because it's just annoying. Unlike the ice shaker where you could unscrew it. I'm sorry, where you could take the cap off and the little ice barrier thing will stay in the cap. This is just a loose cannon. It just goes wherever it wants. All right. It's annoying. So I don't like it at all. And to be honest with you, out of the three that I just showed you, that's the last one. Out of the three I just showed you, the Shakespeare, none of this is sponsored, by the way, but I am taking money. The Shakespeare gives me the most, is the best out of all of them in terms of it makes it easy to mix up the drink, whatever I'm mixing up in there, even if I don't have the little ice strainer in there, which I told you is not for actually mixing up stuff anyway. But if I don't have that in there, I still get my stuff still mixes up smoothly, and it also is very durable. It's easy to replace parts and cost effective to replace parts. And so I think, in my opinion, if you're going to go with one, the Shakespeare is $34.99. Like I said, the Activate is is $40. And then the Shakespeare is either $50 or $70, depending on which one that you want to get. So that was the most comprehensive. And this, yeah, I'm sorry, the ice shaker. Thanks, Anand. So the ice shaker, in my opinion, is the one that you should go with, but you pick whatever one you want. And that's going to be the most comprehensive discussion about shaker bottles you'll ever see on this show. And if y'all want me to do this again, one, you got to wait till I get more shaker bottles, and two, you got to put it in the comment section that you want that sort of information. Trevor said, don't sleep on the new Smart Shake Reforce bottle. It's the same as the ice shaker, but not insulated. So for me, that is a no-go because I don't like shaker bottles that are not insulated. I've already got something that's like that, which is the Visp, which is not insulated. And aside from the out-of-the-house applications, I have drinks that I have mixed up drinks for the show, and they've got to stay cold for 3 hours. All right. And with the Visp, I even put ice in this thing, which you don't do because you'll damage the whisk, by the way. But I had already mixed the drink up. I mixed it up, and then I put it in, and then I put the ice, and the ice is already melted. So I put it in here at 6 o'clock. Ice is already melted. So I'm not into that non-insulated bottle life. I ain't trying to do that. So there we go. So we got one fan. Anand says he likes the shaker review. Hey, I'm telling you, if this is a good segment, something that y'all care about, I will keep it in. So we got one vote for more. And look, we jumped up. I don't know now. We may need to do this because when I started talking about this, we had about 800 people watching. We just jumped up to 1,340 people watching. Every one of y'all click the like button right now. Click like, hit subscribe. All right. If you want me to talk about steel shaker bottles again, I'll talk about shaker bottles next week if you want, if y'all keep on subscribing. All right. So there we go. All right. It is now, however, I didn't even get close to all of the news items. So let me just say one more thing in that, and because I said I was going to shout out Eric Eccles, and that is that the AbMat ROM pad is now available. And the reason why I am shouting Eric out is because I mentioned on this show that I was looking for a solution like this, and he is the one that let me know about that. He actually sent me a DM with the post from Ryan Humiston, who's got a really cool YouTube channel, by the way. Not safe for work, not kid friendly, but got good information on there. But this is the ROM pad. It's $40, and I have already ordered mine, and it is on the way. So either it's I don't know what they got to do, sew it, do whatever, but put it in a box and send it to me, because when the show's over, I'm gonna go sit by the mailbox and wait for it, because I already ordered mine. But yeah, so shout out to Eric for putting me on to the ROM pad. All right, now it is time for that magical time of the day where I crash out and y'all laugh at my pain. So let's go ahead and jump right into Recliner Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, 'cause he's not happy.
I want y'all to know before I get started that I calculated the length of that trailer to exactly be long enough for me to get a drink out of my bottle and close it back, put it back in there, and be right back at it. You know why? Because I'm a professional. I do this, okay? All right, let's crash out. So here's the thing. This is my testing week, right? So I do 5-3-1. At this current time in my life, I use 5-3-1. All right. And so this is the third week, which is where you test to make sure you can, so to see if you're training, you can take your training maxes up, right? Basically, for those who, if you've never done 5-3-1, and I know a lot of you guys have, but for people who may not have, when you do 5-3-1, you have your actual max, which is the most you can do if you're well rested under good ideal conditions, and it's got to be a recent max, right? It's not something you do like, hey, I'm 40 years old and this is what I benched in high school. Nobody cares. So you have to use a recent max. And then what you do is you take 90% of that, and that's your training max, right? So it builds in a little bit of a buffer so you don't exceed your the idea is for you to not stall, right? So then you do percentages off of that training max. So you do, for example, your warm-ups are 40% of that training max, 50%, 60%, right? And then each week you're going to do, so like you do fives where you work up to 85% of that training max. Then the next week you're going to do sets of 3 where you work up to you do fives where you work up to 80%. Yeah. Then the next week you do threes and you work up to I want to say 90%. Nah, it's been so long since I actually looked at the thing. It's 85 or 90%. Yeah, 90%. Okay. So then your threes, you go up to 90%. And then in week 3, you're going to work up to a single or more at 95% of that training max. If you get at least 1 rep at the top in your final set, then you will add like 1.5. I add 1.25 pounds or 2.5 pounds, depending on what the lift is, because I want to keep the progression slow. But you can go either 2.5 or 5 pounds to that training max, which then automatically makes all of your working sets and your warm-ups heavier for the next month. Okay? All right. So I did all that. Apologies to those of you who already knew all that, but somebody who's watching the show has never done it, so I had to tell them. All right. So this week is my week where I've got to hit a top single on everything, right? And I told you guys, so on Friday, I had a good workout on Friday. I was sore. All right. And that's great for Saturday. Then Sunday, I'm still sore. So now I'm starting to get nervous. Like, oh, I'm still sore. I don't know if I like this. All right. Monday, time to do bench pressing, and my triceps are still sore. What's going on here? I'm still sore. How is this going to impact you? Because if you're sore, how many of y'all know if you're sore, it's hard to lift at your best, right? Man, look, let me tell you something. My arms were hollering. My triceps were hollering at me, okay? I put on the liniment. I got my liniment from the Far East that I use. I've been using since 1997. Eagle brand medicated oil. Shout out, not sponsored, but taking money. And I'm telling you, look, I got through it. But my top set was 318. I want to say 318.5. All right. Yes, not 315, 318.5. I use micro gains plates, right? We've already talked about this. Don't interrupt me again. So anyway, so 318.5, I just needed to get one. Well, in the normal circumstances, I should be able to get 2 or 3, right? And I realized that the way that they set up the 5-3-1 program, the way Jim Wendler set it up, weights that sometimes that you may be able to do more reps in because of how you progress up to it, to that top set, you're going to be a little bit fatigued, so you're not going to be at your best. But still, come on, man, it's not even 320 pounds. Some of you guys have seen me bench more than that, right? Man, my triceps are hollering. I barely cranked it out. And then I'm sore. I'm like sore throughout. I'm talking about the entire workout. I'm sore. Okay? That was Monday. Tuesday, when I wasn't bench pressing, Wednesday, when I also wasn't bench pressing, and yesterday, when I also wasn't bench pressing, no tricep soreness. So where's the tricep soreness? Why was I only sore on the day that I absolutely needed to not be sore? Because I wanted to get my best repetition, best number of repetitions in the bench press. So the one day out of the week that I needed my triceps to perform at their best, they were sore, and then every other day they were not. That's what you're telling me? That's what you're telling me? What are you? Okay. If you want me to believe that this is not a conspiracy with a capital K, I'm going to tell you that I need to know whether you're trying to tell me that I bench pressed the soreness out of my triceps. Because if I did, that's awesome. All right? Because that means that the solution to the next time I'm sore is the bench press. I don't care if my legs are sore. Go bench press and get the soreness out. If you're telling me bench pressing is the cure for soreness, okay, I'm all about it. Let's go. Good to go. I'll do it. But I actually feel that it's a conspiracy. That's right. K-O-N-spiracy. Okay? No, it's not a C. It's more serious than that. It's more serious than a C. It's K-O-N-spiracy. That's why I'm mad today. Okay? Because in my head, I was like, all right, when I was planning, I said, all right, so had that set not been a grinder, I would have gone for 335.5, which also is not a PR, but nevertheless, it's what I wanted. And I was like, you know what? We already got what we needed. Let's live to fight another day. And I let it go. Okay? So I feel deprived. I feel deprived. I know y'all don't care. Y'all don't care. But you know what? I care. It's important to me. Conspiracy. It's a plot. It's a plot. And I'm not going to be convinced that it's not a plot. I refuse to believe that it's not a plot. I see you back there sipping your drink, Dustin. You don't care about my pain, my suffering. You don't care. I know you don't. I see you laughing. He's laughing. I see him laughing. That's okay. That's okay. See if I care. Recliner rage. You know what? I'm mad that y'all don't care.
It's the recliner of rage.
It's the recliner of rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Okay. I'm good now. I'm in a better place. And I got to calm down because we're about to add our friends from LinkedIn. And so we got to be professional now. We're going to be professional. So everybody be on their best behavior. We're about to add LinkedIn. Okay. Everybody 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. Good morning. Welcome to everybody who just joined us from LinkedIn, and shout out to the Mountain Time Zone as well. Thank you for joining Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. My name is John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. And on this show, we talk about the topics that matter to the home gym community. So if you are a brand that makes equipment that makes the home gym community possible, thank you for what you do. And you need to pay attention to this show because this is where your customers come to talk about what's important to them. And we also are going to be talking to brands that make the equipment that makes the home gym community possible. So that means you get to find out what your competition is talking about. So you once again need to check it out. And today, my first guest on the show is going to be my guy, Dustin Payne. Dustin is a strength athlete, and he actually has started doing a few product reviews here and there. But he fits 3 separate demographics in terms of potential customers for the for home gym equipment. So you definitely want to check out what Dustin has going on. But before you do that, if this is your first time checking out the show and you're watching on LinkedIn, make sure that you follow this show page so you don't miss a single one of these episodes. We air them every Friday, starting at, for LinkedIn, it'll start at 7 a.m. and we go all the way to the 9 a.m. hour. All right. So, as I said, my first guest of the day is my strength athlete, Dustin Payne. I met Dustin at HomeGymCon in 2024 in French Lick. And for those of you who attended HomeGymCon this year, you may have seen him helping out with the hybrid games competition. So, Dustin, you ready, my man? He's ready. All right. He said, I was born ready. All right, here we go, Dustin.
Hey.
Welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
What's up?
What's up? Hey, thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. What's up, man?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
Hey, and he brought a dog with him. Hey, everybody who brings a dog with him, there's like a special. I mean, I don't pay y'all anything, but I'm gonna give you. I'm doubling what I'm not paying you because you brought a dog with you. Okay, so I appreciate that.
I got.
They're both. Oh, okay. There you go. Look at that. All right. We'll triple it. All right. We got all the show budget is at your disposal. At your disposal. So let's get into this. Because I know you got, when somebody is like a crowd favorite, because I had people on Instagram saying, so Kinsey, for example, is like, man, I'm mad that I'm not going to get to see Dustin on the show. Yeah. Right. And I was like, I'm seeing like comments here and there. People like, Dustin's coming on. Dustin, like, so. You have made an impact and a positive one in our community. So I'm glad that you were willing to come on here, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've met a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
We actually were out in Utah. And we went to Kinsey's house, and she's got an awesome setup. So great.
Yeah. I saw when you guys did that, like did some cool collabs and all that. And that's actually part of what I wanted to talk to you about today, too, because you guys get to do since you dove headfirst into this, like I said, I met you at HomeGymCon 2024, and then it was like you didn't kind of like, like you said, oh yeah, that's nice. Nah, it's like you like immediately jumped into it, and I realized that, actually you and Ashley are dating, but and she's running a hybrid game, so I know how that goes. You're gonna help her with the thing, but the point is that you didn't just do that. You know what I mean? Like you enthusiastically got involved with a number. I saw you arm wrestling people. I mean, like you're into, like you're part of our community. So I really love that, man. In fact, let me ask you this. You've trained in a home gym before, but did Ashley tell you, like when you were going to HomeGymCon, did she say, okay, now this is what to expect? Or did she just say, I just want to see, which is basically, and there she is, like, look at her photo bombing you. Look at that. We see you photo bombing 332 in the background. But now, did she like kind of like say, okay, this is what to expect? Or did you just say, you know what, I'm going to just let you experience it for yourself?
Yes and no. So she did keep some of it kind of I guess a surprise, if you will. She did let me know, when it came to vendors and meeting people, she's like, oh, you're going to be excited about this. But for the most part, it was kind of like, it was almost like a parent taking a kid to Disney World, where it was like, yeah, we're going there, but I'm not going to tell you how cool it is. So
nice. Okay.
Going up there, it blew my mind. And I told her how much potential I saw for something like this. And of course, it blew up even more this year. So it was kind of cool to grow from French Lick to Louisville. And I knew it was going to blow up. Something that big. It's almost like real estate. And, you know, Jake and his team jumped on such a great idea. And I think moving forward, it's only going to get bigger and bigger. It's just, I tell people about it now. And actually, that's the cool thing. We've met people outside of this in our hometown, and we've talked to them about it. And some of those people showed up this year and they saw us. So it was kind of cool. And I just talked to somebody, I think it was 2 days ago, and they're a home gym person. We just met online, and so they'll be coming this next time, so 2026. But there's also Nick Best showed up, and I know Nick Best I've corresponded with him through the internet for the last, I don't know, 15.
Strongest man in history, Nick Best.
Dude, he's an amazing guy. So him and I have kind of like 6 degrees. We have a group of friends, mutual friends, that know each other. And so him and I have never met personally, but we've talked online. So he showed up here, and we finally got to meet each other person to person. And wonderful dude. So, but it's just cool how the home gym world kind of brings people together, whether you meet them online or you know them in your hometown and you all show up there. So it's I think it's amazing. And it's funny because I'm not a true home gym person. I know you've seen some of my videos. I do train at an actual gym, but I do love the home gym community. I love the home gym idea too. So don't get me wrong. Like, we have an amazing home gym here, but I like being around people too. I don't like training alone.
Yeah. Hey, I get that. I mean, to be honest with you, so I gave you some credit because I was like, well, Dustin's a strong dude. So my assumption was that you needed more weight. And then also, you know, I mean, shout out to Dennis Cornelius, who can squat everything by himself and at home and all that. But a lot of, and Perry, my guy Perry Ellis, what's up, PGZ, in case you're watching. But most people I know who are like going to be squatting heavy want some sort of spotter around. And depending on how many plates are on the bar, you may want to have a few spotters. And it's a lot easier to get that at a public gym or a semi-private or something like that than it is to try to get all the neighbors over to hey, I know you're cutting your grass, but could you come over here and give me a spot real quick? So I do understand that. Let me ask you this, because I mentioned HomeGymCon 2024. One of my favorite memories from that weekend, this is just kind of a little side note, because Jared has a question that relates to it. One of my favorite memories is of you sitting in the driver's seat of your truck with a full, and I mean a full load of home gym equipment. And then this year, that's right, now there's a caravan of y'all and your friends, and all of y'all got full truckloads of home gym equipment. So when I saw the post where y'all had you got like the storage building, I said, I'm not surprised, because it's like I saw like these. I mean, anybody who didn't see Dustin's truck, you don't understand what I'm saying. Y'all look like y'all were moving out west. It looked like pioneers, moving out west with a covered wagon full of just gym equipment. I was like, this is hilarious, man. And what I said it relates to it is because Jared wants to know if you have anything on the wish list for the home gym.
Ooh, boy.
Look at it.
So,
just the way you rubbed your hands, I'm like, you rubbing your hands, you're not a commercial gym guy, because you got way too excited about it. I know you go to commercial gym, but you got way too excited about that question to not be home gym in your heart.
Yeah.
But go ahead. What's on the wish list?
I'm big into dumbbells.
Okay.
I want to get a complete set up to at least 150. I would go up to 200 if I had the room. But I've reached out to. You got to give a shout out to Brian at Wait It Out, because I've been in talks with him. Eventually, I'd like to make the jump and get a complete set. But the next thing would be getting some serious dumbbells. I think that's my That's the only thing that I'm really missing from here. If I had insane money, there's a company called New Tech, but that's not really home gym equipment. That's like more like commercial line, but they have some amazing pieces that are specifically geared for bodybuilding. And I went to the Pittsburgh Pro, which is a phenomenal bodybuilding show, and they had a booth there, and they were letting us try out their equipment, and it was just I have not used machines like that anywhere in my life, but I would say, but for home gym related, the next big one would definitely be some serious dumbbells, and we've got plates here, so I can't really.
I'm still. We're watching you using the weighted out plates right there.
Yeah, so I've got weighted out plates here. I've got X Master too. Honestly, I'm very grateful and I'm very fortunate to have what we have in our home gym. So there's not a whole lot that I could ask more for. If I really wanted to, I could do everything here. But the only thing that is preventing me from going full on out would be missing those dumbbells. We have dumbbells up to 80s, but I really, not to
I understand.
brag. I hundreds, and to 150s are what I really need right now.
Oh no, I get it. I mean, because you're a strong dude, and to be honest with you, for the sake of people who are watching who don't like, let's quantify that. Okay, so, you're to be honest, and I'm gonna give you a compliment that I don't give everybody. You're almost a throwback to the Silver Age. So when the bodybuilders were all around strength athletes, so you had like John Grimmick. John Grimmick was also a weightlifting champion, right? But he was Mr. America. So he's a bodybuilder, but he compete and actually part of that was because the way Bob Hoffman set up a lot of his weightlifting competitions were if you wanted to be a bodybuilder, you would have to do the lifting part, and then the bodybuilding show was after that. So Joe Weider is the reason why you have bodybuilding shows where all you do is pose, right? And actually, if you've not seen the movie Bigger, I really recommend that. Okay. It's the Joe Weider. That's an awesome. It's awesome. Tyler Hoechlin, who played Superman on the CW, it plays Joe Weider, and it's really, really interesting. But back to what we're talking about, it's like the reason why I say that is because you've done so many different strength related pursuits. You won the open light heavyweight class in your first bodybuilding show ever. But you've also got a 1664 total, 1664.5 total, according to Open Powerlifting, from the USPA drug tested Northern Virginia Fall Classic. That's in 2019. So for anybody who wants to know the numbers, how that broke down, Dustin got a 622.8 squat, 413.3 bench, and a 628.3 deadlift that day in that powerlifting meet. And then you've also competed in strongman with some very respectable numbers. So when I say you're a strong dude, you're a throwback to when people who were lifters, you basically just did everything. People weren't really specialists like that. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed about doing the research to do this interview. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. So yeah, man, how long have you been lifting?
24 years.
Okay. 24 years. All right. Did you start out with football or what? How'd you get into it?
Wrestling, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the great sports on earth.
Okay. I see that. All right. Yeah, you so let me see. So 24 years. Were you what weight class were you in? I'm trying to think because I'm trying to calculate based upon how you looked before you started training with Ashley.
Okay.
And when you were powerlifting and stuff. Because I mean, training with Ashley's made you a physique athlete as well. Yeah. So there's gonna be some differences. But I'm saying I'm just thinking okay, just trying to scale back. Okay, what did he look like when I saw some of your earlier Instagram stuff? So what weight class did you wrestle in?
So, funny you asked. So when I was
65?
No, 119.
Wow. Okay. Dude, hold on. How tall were you?
I'm 5'7", so I'm short.
Yeah, but were you 5'7" then?
Oh, in high school? Oh man, I couldn't even tell you. I was a little guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm figuring that, like, because I mean, like 5'7", actually, that's dangerous. So you think about it, like, if you're a freshman and you're 5'7", 119, that's a tough weight cut.
It's a very competitive weight class.
Yeah,
you have to be super technical and you have to be really fast. It's got a lot of really good coaching. When I gotta give, he's probably nowhere near watching this right now. But there's a guy, his name was Coach Walleyes. He was third ranked in Germany for his weight class, and he was a coach of mine. So I also did Greco-Roman and freestyle. So
okay.
Wrestling a year-round sport, so it wasn't just collegiate, which is what high school and college do, where you only have that during a certain season. So when wrestling season was over, I would move over into Greco-Roman and freestyle, and this guy took me under his wing, and I became a monster. Some of the best wrestling, I guess, etiquette or techniques I've ever learned in my life. I can still throw down too, which is kind of cool. I'm not as fast, obviously, because I've gained weight.
Oh yeah, I mean, you still know how to do it.
Oh yeah, I still follow. Yeah. Still follow it heavily. I still watch the NCAA championships. It's something that if you've done it and you've done it for years, it never really leaves you. You're always
Yeah. So I'm posting the video of that squat because I see people commenting like Carp is like 1,600 pounds. My man's moving some weight. I'm like, I told you he's a strong dude. Yeah. And look how that moved too. So think about that.
We were really conservative. That was my first powerlifting meet sanctioned.
Okay.
So going back to when I first started, we had high school power meets. We called them power meets, and we would meet up with other high schools and we would compete. And they were organized by the football coaches and stuff. And I got into look how chunky I was. I got
he's thick.
I got into weightlifting at 14, but then got competitive. There I was skydiving.
That's probably like the picture of the year. When I'm gonna, you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll pull that up. There you go. Hey.
What's funny is there I was 250 pounds, and it almost exceeded the weight limit for tandem sky. So they were like, hey, I had to kind of lie about my weight. I was like, oh no, I'm definitely lighter than that.
But that dude looks nervous. It's like, man, hey.
So when
I'm gonna have to cut this dude in the clear if it goes bad.
Yeah. So when I got into strongman, I didn't start off that heavy, and then I realized that I'm not fast when it comes to moving, but I have the same static strength. So I started putting on weight to go against the bigger guys because they can't run that fast either. So I ended up getting up to 252 pounds, which was a lot of weight for 5'7". I mean,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
So and I mean, this is you doing circus. This 140-pound circus dumbbell, 11 reps in a minute to get the win in there. So, like I said, you've got the strongman background. You've got the powerlifting background. There's you had a sandbag. It's like a sandbag medley around here somewhere that I saw as well. But that's complete. Now, before we get on to the next thing, before we talk about bodybuilding, I just want everybody to just take a minute and look at this right here. I tell everybody, I say, if you put it on the internet, I will find it and I will show everybody. Look at the joy on his face. At least it says strong on the Charmin. Okay. at least it says strong. Okay. There you go. So I mentioned your older numbers, but most people watching this will probably be more familiar with this video where of you at HomeGymCon, where you pulled 700. And so, I mean, we saw you so I'll let people, if they haven't seen it, I'll let people check this out. Because, I mean, there was so much going on at HomeGymCon, people probably missed some of the stuff that's going on. And you just kind of went and did this, right? And so this is Dustin with a 700. Look at the belts giving up. Dustin's like, that's fine. I don't need no belt. You like Constantine Constantinopolis. This is my belt. So that's a pretty good pull right there, man. But let me ask you, are you kind of like just that looks like fun. Yeah. Let's give it a shot. You kind of that person?
100%. 100%. Okay. I'm big into ego lifting. I know people have their opinion on ego lifting, but
hey, look, you're self-aware. You're self-aware. There you go.
I will own up to that. That's another reason why I like to go lift in the gym. I'm very competitive, and I don't mean competitive in the sense where I'm a jerk to other people, but I look at what everyone does, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter if their numbers are smaller or lower or less, if you whatever vernacular.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I see people's work etiquette or their ethic, and the way that they go about their movements, as well as just showing up every day. I take that to heart and I keep it in mind. Honestly, like I saw your squat video the other day and I commented on it. It's things like that, because that was a beautiful squat, man. You hit depth, it was smooth, you moved really well, and things like that. When I see people do that, it only fires me up more, so it pushes me. And I always think, if you want to be good at this, you got to show up every day, because 100%. Going back to my wrestling coach, it's about how bad you want it, because if you don't show up every day, other people are still going to show up. So if you want this, you got to make sure you're the one showing up every day. So
this might this is a quote that you may, I don't know if you've ever heard this, the Dan Gable quote, where he said, if it's important, do it every day. If it's not important, don't do it at all.
100%. 100%.
Dan Gable, famous Olympic champion and incredibly successful collegiate wrestling coach. Incredibly successful.
Yeah.
He was undefeated, I think, as a competitor himself. I think he was undefeated in his own wrestling career, and he's got a really great win-loss record as a coach. So, and that concludes the Dan Gable portion of the show. I just kind of nerded out a little bit. Sorry.
I gotta say, you're very knowledgeable. So one, I was sitting on the couch last night with Ashley, and I saw those questions, and I was like, man, he did his homework. Like you went down. You went down some rabbit holes and found out some old stuff, and I was like, wow. They started bringing up some really, really nostalgic memories for me. But a lot of the you're throwing out right now, it's kind of wild, because there are people who love weightlifting, and then there are people who love weightlifting. And it shows that if you know a lot of these names and these people, you're clearly about this life. And I respect that, because I'm a gym rat. I have no formal education in this. I'm nowhere near as smart as Ashley when it comes to this stuff. But I've been in the trenches. So it's like, I've been around. So I've met a lot of people. I've been to a lot of gyms. I've been to a lot of places. So I've seen a lot of exercises and equipment. But I think it's just kind of like being a roadie, if you will, for like a rock band or whatever. I just show up everywhere, gym related as much as possible. And I respect another person like yourself who's just as enthusiastic about lifting, because I think it's a healthy lifestyle, and I think that it brings a certain tribe of people together, and those are the best people that I've had come into my life. And I'm very grateful for the gym. It made me who I am, and it's kept me disciplined. Some people do martial arts, stuff like that, but I think weightlifting is the one thing that has kept me grounded and has opened me up to a lot of wonderful opportunities in life. So I'm very grateful for it.
So Matt Baliano said Dustin's a beast, and Eric had to take a minute away from because his boss was talking to him, but he's back now. And he said we need a Dustin versus Bugenhagen match at Eric Bugenhagen match at HomeGymCon next year. If he showed up, like that dude is the poster child. He's one of the people I'm like, I love how he challenges like the expectations of what's possible. In terms of his lifting, and he has a good time doing it too. You know what I mean? So
that's all you can do is have fun with it. It's very so much a community based environment, or I guess outlet, if you will. So I feel like the only thing you can do is just try to lift up others, because that makes you better. You know, if you're, I know some people would think, oh, you do this by yourself. You gotta like be in the dungeon. And I used to have that mindset when I was younger. That was my mindset, where I guess I was a little bit more of an angry person. And
you like your inner Pete Rubish. I'm mad in the basement in front of the washer and dryer. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But now I find myself coaching the younger generation, and I've got 20-year-olds up at the gym. You know, I'm giving them pointers. I'm the old guy at the gym now, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. But I'm giving them pointers, and I'm trying to teach them how to be a better lifter. Things that I would have personally liked to have known when I was younger. And I want to see people's success. And again, it's because if you're successful and you're doing well, then it's only going to push me to want to do harder. You know, I don't like complacency, and I don't like being comfortable. And the moment I start getting comfortable, I feel like I'm slacking off. So I love that. Again, I love that competitive nature, where if I see other people doing stuff, I gotta work harder. And actually, a little shout out, Jared Martin. We kind of go back and forth with our overhead presses. And so he actually beat me. He beat me to 300 this year. We kind of had a little.
And I'll say Jared's a strong dude as well.
Jared's a strong dude. So you know, it's things like that where it's fun when we go back and forth on Instagram. And he ended up getting 300 before me, which was I'm impressed. 300 overhead presses, that's no joke.
Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah.
And Jared actually has. So first of all, Matt Welch from the UK has arrived. He says, "Hello, USA." What's up, Matt? Hey. And he said, you were talking about your size, like your dimensions. You're 5'7", and how heavy you got when you were doing strongman. So Matt's a strongman, and he said he's 6'1", 185. He said you're thick with 3 C's. He says you were thick with. Wow. So I'm gonna tell you that's not what he looks like now. Okay, he's 250 now. Okay, but yeah, he's still. That one of the things, like when I met you, you kind of gave me shout out to another, rest in peace, Franco Colombo vibes. Who was another person,
my hero.
He came out of combat sports, except his was boxing, and he's weightlifting and bodybuilding. Heck, he did a strongman competition back when bodybuilders were still doing it.
100%.
And he actually cut his leg or something like that. Not cut his leg, he injured himself, and that affected his placing in the Mr. Olympia one year. But it might have been 1980 or something like that.
Yeah, he competed in World's Strongest Man, and he actually competed against Lou Ferrigno. That's when they were bending rebar on their or any part of their body. You just had to bend the rebar. It was actually half-inch rebar, which is well, it was the largest one. He started off with 3/8, but that's incredible. Like that tensile strength to actually bend. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Well, you saw everybody sees him like lifting the car and pumping iron, and they're like, is it a gimmick? No, he actually was that strong. And in fact, that wasn't even planned. They're like, because did you watch the pumping iron?
That's
the one where they had like the after, like kind of behind the scenes. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's like, well, it's boring in my town. They're like, what's there to do here? We don't have anything to film. He said, well, I can move a car. It's like, okay.
I will watch Pumping Iron at least once a year. That's a staple.
That movie's awesome.
It's phenomenal. But I was going to go back, going back to Franco Colombo. He broke his leg. He was doing a yoke carry, and leg snapped, but he broke his leg, and that's kind of what I guess caused a early. I wouldn't say early retirement, but definitely put a hiatus on his career for a while. But that's someone that I look. So it's funny you bring that up, because I was always compared to him being a short guy, and I respect him because pound for pound, that guy was insanely strong, and he was a specimen. Probably had the lowest body fat percentages at that time during that era of bodybuilding.
Him, Danny Padilla, or Danny Padilla. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but definitely, man. I think Jared wants to know what's your favorite to least favorite in squat, bench, and deadlift.
Squat, hands down. I'm a squatter. I like the bench press. I'm a big bench presser, but I love squatting. I feel like it's funny you ask. I feel like since we're talking about strongman, I can kind of bring this little quote up. John Paul Sigmarsson during World's Strongest Man was deadlifting, was shouting. It's a famous line. Hafthor Bjornsson the other day. If you can't deadlift, what's the point of living? Yeah. My philosophy on that is if you can't squat, what is the point of living? But I'd have to say the squat, hands down. That's a movement that not everybody is comfortable with doing, and I think it scares a lot of people to put a lot of weight on their back and to go into the hole and get back out. And I love it. It makes your legs huge too. It's something that I have started incorporating more into my bodybuilding world, because a lot of old school bodybuilders, like Tom Platz. I was thinking Kevin Levrone was the one that really.
Oh yeah. Maryland Mass Machine. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Levrone is one of my heroes or idols I look up to in bodybuilding. But yeah, you want some big legs, you gotta squat.
So this actually is a really good spot. I was gonna put this somewhere else, but it's a really good spot to bring this up. Are you aware that Ashley didn't used to squat? She did every exercise for her legs except squat. But then one fateful day in 2019, both of you 5 days apart. This is February 5th with you, and that's her February 10th.
Man.
Her first ever time, not first time squatting, but she hit a squat PR 5 days after you did this with 505. Okay. So it was meant to be. You guys were getting ready for each other, bringing your goals into alignment, and you didn't even know back then, 2019.
Man, that's pretty wild.
Like literally 5 days apart.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, and she says in the caption when I saw it on Instagram, she said that's basically, I never used to squat. So she was actually like nervous about doing that, because like that's 315. That's the most she had ever squatted, because she didn't squat. So that's actually, and that's a solid squat too for somebody who didn't do it.
Serious weight. I mean, 315. That's
oh yeah.
I don't care who you are. That's good weight. If you're most people on the planet Earth cannot squat 315. So that's easy that you found those videos.
If you put it on the internet, I will find it. Matt said he has been practicing. He said arm wrestling match 2026. Okay. Apparently he's Dustin's like, hey, okay, don't tell me, show me.
Yeah, no. So hey, I met him. He's a great guy. I met him at HomeGymCon, and you know what's funny? I normally don't arm wrestle people, and I guess because of that, I've been more open to it. I've always been a little worried about arm wrestling injury, and I don't. Don't ever judge a book by its cover. There's some guys out there that you would never know have some insane strength when it comes to arm wrestling. And the amount of exercising or working out that I do in a week, I beat my body up. Like I have been told that I have an unhealthy relationship with the gym. I like to run myself into the ground. So my tendons and stuff like that they're not always up to 100%. Right. Honestly, every day I go into the gym, I do try to remind myself, today could be the day where you get hurt. So just be aware. Like you got to be, because when I was in my 20s, I could go crazy and not have any thought of injury or consequences. But now that I'm older, a lot of those lifts and a lot of those things that I did, I wouldn't say have caught up to me, but I put a lot of wear and tear on my joints and on my tendons. So I have to be a little bit smarter. And it's just a matter of if and when. You know, people are going to get injured, and it happens, but doesn't mean you can't overcome it. You can overcome it if you want to, but I have to be smarter when I lift now. So.
I mean, this other thing. So first of all, Jared wants to make sure we understand it was seated overhead press, not standing strict press. He said you have him on the standing strict press because he's stalled pretty hard on the standing strict press.
So I would have to argue with them. The seated is in my opinion, the seated is harder. I feel like there's a little bit more drive, not from the hips or anything, but just being grounded. I don't know. I know that's one of those things that's subjective because it varies from person to person. But
sure,
I can overhead press more standing. Maybe it's a psychological thing than I can seated. But I'm never going to take that away from him just because he hit a lot of weight. You know, again, I respect people's numbers, and when I see somebody do something, and they do it with good form, you know, like if you're lifting it right, then I can't take that from you. You know, I'm not gonna knock on that. He hit it. It was a beautiful lift. So I'll give him the title right now. I'm gonna have to, like I said, I told him I'm gonna work till the end of the year, and I'm gonna try to beat it. But he's got the title right now.
Well, Eric has the theory for why Jared got it. He said Jared doesn't have to lift it as high. So there's that. All right. I'm not getting in the middle of that. I'm just telling you because Eric is taller than everybody in this conversation. All right. Me, Jared, you, you know, he's looking down at us down his nose, a little bit snooty.
You know what? It's funny because being tall has its advantages. So being tall, you're great for deadlifting. You probably have better leverage or levers for pulling off the ground. Yeah. So I've always envied people in that sense. We're like, if you're even with like
squatting is a miserable event because that's a long way down.
Or bench pressing if you got some long arms.
Oh,
so I've seen taller guys.
Hands all the way out by the dang collars.
with bench press, but when it comes to deadlifting, even Atlas stones and strongman, if you saw a tall, lanky guy, so the gentleman that commented earlier being 6 foot, 185,
Matt,
first thing that came to mind is, I bet you he's awesome at stones, though.
Yeah.
If you ever
did you see that one? I mean, to cut you off. Did you see that clip where the guy they were doing like stone loading up to a platform, but the platform was kind of narrow, and it ends up like he can't even get it up onto the platform because he's not tall enough, and it falls back on him because he physically can't, because they don't lower the platform for you in strongman. That's why I actually prefer where you do like stone over the bar, because then they get your rack height. That's a little bit more of a level playing field. When you're loaded into a platform, that's crazy because the platform is the height it is.
That's funny because that was always my Achilles heel, and stones is like the staple of strongman, and it's always the last event. So, you know, going in, I'd always work myself up and know that, man, no matter how well I do, it's going to come down to that last event and how well I do on it. So I had to work at stones for a while, but I even wore platform boots one time and to help build up.
To try again.
But I will say Atlas stones have always been the bane of my existence in strongman. So
that's hilarious. Matt said his last competition on stones, one guy used his face to push it up onto the top platform. Hey, look, you're like, hey, I came all the way here. I spent all this time training. I'm not about to lose this because I can't, because I'm short. I got a plan.
Strongman.
I got a plan. That's funny.
Strongman's got a specific demographic. You got some savages in that sport, man. It takes a special type of person.
Be a different kind of guy, yeah. Let's see here. So we talked about Ashley a couple times, and she even she video bombed you, but you've made, you know, your body is in. I would say that as a strength athlete, not only you stronger and you look like you're moving better, just from me watching. Like, I've literally watched your Instagram, like, as whatever you put on Instagram. I've watched it, the entire thing, right? And so you're actually moving better now, and you're actually able to do a lot of things that I would say some bodybuilders can't do because their muscles are developed, but their muscles lag behind the tendons and ligaments, like what we were talking about earlier. And so talk about some of the ways that she's impacted you as a coach. Because let's go with the moving better thing. I showed the video where you squatted the 505. You actually did that for 5 reps. Well, that was 2019. This is from August, and it is let's see, pull this up right here. This is your second set of 500 for 10. Okay. And so just look at how, in terms of your setup, compare the setup when you were doing the 505 before, how you stepped out. I mean, you walked this out as well, but just how you're moving looks a little like your body's not fighting itself, if that makes sense. Whereas here, whereas in the past, you're kind of like, okay, it felt a little bit more robotic. So it just seems to me like you're moving, like I said, you're moving better, and you definitely look different. It's like you lost 50 pounds?
Yeah.
On like the weight cut?
So in total, it was like 40 something pounds. So yeah,
okay.
I'm significantly lighter. I'm leaner. So I'm the leanest and the heaviest I've been at the same time, which is great. So I walk around in the 220s. I wake up about 220 dehydrated.
Okay.
But so I guess 30 pounds off from where I've been. But my movement and my strength has definitely been improved, and it really isn't thanks to Ashley. She holds me accountable every day, and
yeah,
there's whether it was doing yoga.
I know you love that.
Actually, yoga is phenomenal. I wish I had more. I wish I had more time to go and do that and dedicate more time to that. It's phenomenal. I honestly, for my first bodybuilding, look at that.
That's a 35 pound. That right there is 35 pounds difference.
Oh,
but Ashley put up your competition photo, and it was just like, oh wow, it's like two different people.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
So yeah, and it's funny because now I'm obsessed with bodybuilding. But she's held me accountable every day, and it's not a once a week thing. It's not a once a month thing. It's a day-to-day thing where she leaves me notes in my wallet before I go to, before I start my day. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get a little choked up. She's been a very positive influence in my life, and I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, but
man, it's okay. Heck, I cried when I did the show in person. And like, there's people sitting around me, and I'm there like, gotta hold it together. But yeah, man, this is fine.
Who loves you that much and supports you and only wants to see you be the best version of yourself. It kind of changes your drive and your why. And when she took me under her wing, and that's the thing too, when we first started dating, I was actually training with somebody else who he's a pro bodybuilder now, and he moved down to Texas, but he's a massive guy. He's a 300-pound dude, and a lot of people looked at him and thought, he knows everything. Like they and it's not to knock on him. He's a great guy. We're still boys, but Ashley has something that most people don't, I think, take into consideration. And she's not only got the experience, but she's got the education. And in my mind, if I'm going to follow somebody and I want someone to make me the machine or the athlete that I know I can be, I'm going to go with science. I'm going to go with education, because this person can take it from not just the movements and not just from, I guess, well, I know this machine hits this muscle. It's like they can explain that, but she can explain why the muscle does that. And then on top of that, every little nutrient that's going to help build that muscle, or every little, just all the real sciencey stuff and why the muscle does what it's supposed to. She opened my mind to like the Carl Sagan, if you will, of lifting. And it's funny because I remember when I sold my townhouse and I came to move in with her. And I remember when my mom came to visit, and my mom stepped inside of our garage gym and saw what we have and saw the person that Ashley was. And she just looked at me and was like, "You must be in heaven," because the gym, the gym has been my life.
This is your person. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, the impacts that she's had on me, I mean, she would make me do my cardio. She would watch my diet. She would watch my stretching. She would watch my lifting. She checked my blood pressure. She checked my blood sugar. I mean, she went above and beyond things that most people would never consider. And even my supplementation, when it came to like just getting involved with metabolic nutrition, shout out to them.
Sure.
Just the amount of, hey, you should be taking, zinc, magnesium, like you should be taking fish oil, just things that, you would think that everyone holds their self accountable for. And I know people that do, but she took it a step above that. And I do have to say I owe it all to her. And I've become an even better lifter and athlete in the world of fitness because of her. And that's the thing. There was never an excuse. And I remember when I was in prep and I started getting tired, because when you get really, really lean, you start getting tired. And it's normal it's a very stereotypical thing in bodybuilding. And I remember there was a couple of times where I didn't want to get on that Stairmaster, and I was like, man, I'm tired. And she would look at me and say, you signed up for this. You wanted to do this, and so you're the one who put yourself in this situation. And her biggest thing that echoed in eternity for me was, cancer patients are tired. You aren't sick. You are healthy, and you get to do this day in, day out, and this is a choice that you made.
Yeah.
How can you not see this through? Like, you should be. It's always been about be grateful, and that's always been her biggest thing for me is I guess influences be grateful. And we have signs throughout our house, even in our garden, that say grateful, and be, it's all about gratitude. And I think that was a paradigm shift for me, and I try to be grateful every day. And I guess that would be the biggest takeaway. But other than I said, being held accountable by her made everything kind of fall into place and made me more regimented. And her military background definitely made that also a regimented thing. So I always looked at her and her accomplishments, again, just being the competitive person I am. And I always thought, well, she's regimented. She would do this. What's my excuse for not doing this? And that kind of always drove me as well. So,
yeah. So first of all, shout out to the quote from Gladiator. He said, echo what we do today will echo in eternity.
Yeah.
What we do in this life echoes in eternity. Yeah. I caught it. The last time Russell Crowe was actually in shape, coincidentally. But man, it's funny because I was talking to my uncle last night. I was on the treadmill and I was talking about so he's never served in the military. He has a martial arts background, but he's never served in the military or anything like that. And I was just saying, like, I said that, one of the things with the military, and my son actually said this to me last week. He's my oldest son. He's in the Marine Corps. My oldest and youngest boy are both in the Marine Corps. And so my oldest said, the thing about the military is when someone has a problem in a civilian job, they pretty much get fired. They'll work with you for a little while, but usually they fire you. In the military, you normally don't get fired. I mean, they might take you out of that responsibility or that role, and they call it being fired, but you're still in the military, right? So because you don't, it's actually harder than you would think to get out of the military in terms of doing something wrong. And so as a result, the people who are like the managers, the people who are in the supervisory positions don't have the luxury of saying, well, we'll just fire this guy and replace him and get somebody else. So you have to learn to deal with the problem. You have to learn how to motivate this person to do the thing that they would not normally do. And so you become a master of how to connect with people, figure out what makes them tick and what's going to make this guy. It's almost like a football coach, but even a football coach, you kick him off the team. You know what I mean? You just kick him off the team. Literally, the military is the one place where you're kind of stuck with this guy. And what happens if you're in a war zone and the guy is failing to whatever? Now you got to figure out some way to make sure this guy isn't a danger to you and everybody else. So you have to become kind of like adept at getting performance out of people. And people always think, like, so their question is, my uncle's question was, so what do you do, like code reds? I'm like, so here's the thing, man. You can't use movies as like your kind of like your to say, oh, well, this is how we do, this is how they do this or that, right? Because Hollywood takes license with things. And I'm like, no, it's not that. It's like you change who you are. I don't care what branch of service. It changes you. That experience changes you, because all of our experience change us. And the thing about Ashley that I really respect is she didn't say, okay, well, I'm joining the Army or whatever. She went and got her Ranger tab. It's like she jumped out of planes. Like, it takes a different kind of person to be in the plane and say, all right, I'm going out there. And she's not attached to anybody. At least when you did your skydiving, there's an expert who's right there, right? He knows what to do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I grant you, he might cut the stuff and just let me go, but he knows what to do. When you're jumping and getting jump qualified, I've never done it, but I'm just saying, like, when you do it, it's you in the air, and you have to like fall back on your training. Like, how do I stay calm, count, and then pull the cord, like all the little things. And so I'm not surprised at all that you said that she was this way with you, because also, and this is something that I thought was really cool, important, that it made me think of it, is like, one of the things I always say with my kids is, or as they were growing up, is you can't have rules without a relationship. I can be really strict with you if you know the reason I'm doing is because I care about you. But if you don't know that I care about you, you're not going to listen to anything I say. It doesn't matter how harsh the punishments are. Prisons are full of people who ignored rules because they didn't care about the person making the rule. Right? So I think that it's that's a shout out to Ashley as a coach. And I mean, obviously you guys are dating, but I see, like, if anybody, I'll put the link to Ashley's Instagram in here in the description of this video as well. You guys can go and you'll check out, you see, like, she's got pictures of her different clients. She pours into them in such a way that she's passionate about seeing other people succeed. So I really do like that. Now, Matt said it's a perfectly fine plane. Just have some patience for it to land. You don't need to take the expressway to get down. You don't need to be impatient. You know what I mean? There you go. Like, that's what it is. Parachutists are just impatient. There you go. That's the explanation right there. And Jared says he wants a sticker from Ashley, but he doesn't have one to give back.
Oh, so we'll get him one. Yeah, we'll get him one.
There you go. We'll get you. They'll get you a sticker, Jared. Let me ask you this, because I warned you, we may not get through all the questions, right?
Yeah. So,
but that's okay with me, because I think this is a cool conversation. I do have some things I want to ask you, because we went back to what we were talking about, like what you would want for your home gym.
Yeah.
I think anybody, and if you're a brand that's watching this, understand that this is the demographic of person you're trying to make your products for. And so in your head, like, sometimes I like to bring people on so that a brand can say, I'm making a thing that Dustin would like. Like, how do I make something don't make like the 14 gauge steel piece of garbage and say, well, it should be okay. No, if you make something that's going to meet Dustin's specifications, it's going to work for everybody else too. When did we start going to the lowest common denominator and saying, oh, well, it's good enough? All right. So that's just my rant about gym equipment in general. Why don't we make it the best possible, and then it'll work for everybody else too? Then you give somebody something that they can like some of the stuff in the room you're sitting in right now, Dustin, was passed down to Ashley from her dad. When did we get away from stuff that you can generationally inherit? Because as we were saying, lifting, fitness, all this stuff is like the best habit to have. It's life-changing. I graduated from high school. I was 5'7", 130 pounds. 130 pounds. I was completely unathletic. And then after I started lifting weights is when I was able to do martial arts. Being in shape helped me be much better in the Marine Corps than I would have been if I just gone in and expected them to make me get in shape or whatever, right? So that's the kind of thing you want to pass on to your kids, and you can't really do that if you've got garbage equipment. So like I said, if you're a brand that's watching this, understand that this is your target demographic. Me And Dustin, we're your target audience. Make stuff that is going to satisfy us and satisfy our needs. But having said that, because you started doing product reviews here and there, first of all, is that something that you enjoy doing?
So I do. I'm trying to get into that more. I want to get involved more. There's a lot of great stuff out there that I do want to show off. You know, I want to give companies some recognition, especially the ones that are trying to grow.
Sure.
But I think that in the long run or grand scheme of things, it'll help build better equipment. You know, it's like innovation is the father, or what is it? Yeah, the father of necessities is to innovate, or whatever that old nursery rhyme. But you get better equipment with reviews, and you get people that start thinking outside the box, and they start developing, you know, better ways of, you know, making it robust or making it move anatomically correct. It just brings more ideas to the chalkboard, so to speak. And I think that it's important. I think that it's important that also to kind of help out people who are trying to build their home gyms to look for the right equipment, especially if they're trying to bodybuild or they're trying to do strongman or powerlifting or Olympic lifting. But I agree with you on that, where we want better equipment. So that being said, I definitely want to get more involved with reviewing. I appreciate you even bringing that up and asking. I've been trying to make myself a little more relevant on social media. I've kind of always been the invisible man on there, but I'm trying to be more.
Aside from the occasional meme with the Mandalorian, you got Mandalorian memes in there too.
Yeah, dude, I love the Mandalorian.
This is the way. Hey, this is the way.
Yeah, awesome show. But I guess since we're on the subject, I mean, a shout out to companies like Synergy.
Heck yeah, 1000%.
We got a crazy dumbbell rack that we have in our gym, and it's robust. And that's another. Having a piece like that is what pushed me into wanting more dumbbells and wanting some serious dumbbells. So things like that, when you get serious equipment, it kind of makes you want to get other serious equipment and kind of build off onto it. And you know, we've got this amazing Aries rack behind us from Rep, and you know, we've got amazing hack squat.
Come on, sit on in here. Hey, what's up? 332. Oh, actually, hold on a second. Don't hold that thought, because this is a good time. So, Letha Cannon, who I'm a fan of, says Ashley is amazing, and said Dustin is pretty awesome too. Talk about a power couple full of inspiration. So I didn't anticipate you coming back out here, but I'm glad that you did, because that way I could show that. All right, so there you go. And I will say too, as far as the reviews go, a lot of times, so this is something that happens with me and Naomi, Adrian and Winning Luck, is like, because, you know, companies want to make sure that their products are going to work for the most amount of people. Yeah. And so I think having the fact that you guys have two perspectives, you've got the female and a male perspective on things, it makes a big difference in terms of equipment. I think that's important to point out. And to your point, if companies like Synergy are innovating, they're making quality stuff, and then your standard for what you'll accept goes up personally. So then the next company sends you something, and you're like, or they call you, or not call you, but they email you and say, hey, are you interested in doing this? Because you're starting to probably get the emails now. Hey, how'd you like, or the DMs? Hey, we've got this widget and it's really exciting, and they're all super excited. Great. But then you're kind of looking at it like, do I want to spend my time on this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I try not to be biased. You know, if it's something that is there, or I can get my hands on it, I'll try it out. Kind of like you said earlier, you're that guy who just will try it.
I'll try anything, yeah.
I will. And I feel like that's what makes you that person able to speak on anything. You know, You can't can't just knock on something. It's kind of like when people knock on a book or a movie and they've never seen it. It's like, well, have you ever read it or actually watched it? Because it might be pretty good. But yeah, I mean, there's pieces out there that I don't think a lot of people know about.
Right.
Like we got this, and we got it because when we went out to Utah and we met Kinsey, we got this awesome lateral raise machine from I think Gentleman's Fit Club or whatever, and it's a phenomenal.
Yeah, they're out of Japan. Yeah,
and it's an awesome piece. So I'm excited about that. And then I gotta give a shout out to Force USA. They've always been really good to me. We have their hack squat leg press combo, and I hit my calves on there at least once a week. But probably one of the higher end hack squats that I've been able to use and throw some pretty heavy weight on and feel safe on it. Sure. And so going back to, you talk about, cheap equipment, there have been times where I've been on, rickety hack squats and I've been terrified where I'm kind of thinking, hey, I can only go to a certain amount of weight on this, or is this thing actually going to be able to hold my weight plus the weight on there and fall?
Well, especially like a bench or something like that too. Yeah.
So even bench. Yeah. Great point. Like, had some really.
I'm holding weight over my face. Hey.
I've had some scary moments on some really bad benches where the seat came down while I was doing incline or whatever, and it's things like that where it's wild how some of the cheaper things that are made out there definitely, user beware. If it looks, bad, it probably is bad. But when you get those nice pieces, there it is. You can tell craftsmanship too when you're putting something together. And that's something that when Ashley and I are building stuff together, I'll stop partway through and I'll make a comment on either the welding or the bolt side. Hey, just things like that. When I'm like, man, this is really well made. This is really well machined. And my mind starts thinking, all right, we're gonna be able to put some serious weight on here. So, and that's I guess that's where my mind always goes, is because I do like lifting heavy, is how much weight I'm going to be able to hold. I know that's not for everybody, but kind of segueing back to what you were saying earlier, like a certain target audience like you and myself who want to lift heavy, is that equipment going to be able to hold some heavy weight for some heavy lifters? And I think that is important. I think there's a lot of guys in the home gym community that want to lift heavy and are heavy lifters and want to make sure that they're using sound equipment that's going to be able to help them lift the heavy weights that they lift. So I do think that is an important aspect because, if you can't go heavy on it or if it's going to tip over, you got safety issues. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, as we wrap up, I want to say that one thing that I think is a fallacy that people do is they say, well, it's not lifting heavy isn't for everybody. So number one, you want your equipment to be able to tolerate and handle much more than you can throw at it. All right. So I don't want a car that's only as fast as I can run. It's just all right. And the other thing is Hollywood plays a bigger role than you would think in how we view lifting. Okay. Because the people we see on TV, even the people that you see, like, let's think about like the people who read the news. There's a type, okay? So they want you to look a certain way. So that affects how you think. The people that get accepted to do roles in commercials, Hollywood has a type. They're like, I want you to look a certain way. Because they're providing the clothes, they want you to be able to fit in the clothes that you're going to wear in the commercial. You don't show up in your own clothes for the commercial, for example, right? But that's not reality. The reality is just think about football. Right? You play football, you probably lift weights, right? There are at least 5 million football players in the United States. All right. Now let's narrow it down. Say, well, what about people who do what you do, who bodybuild? The NPC alone has 50,000 members. There are a lot of people who are into lifting weights and who would lift heavy. And if you make stuff for their needs, then the people who are not as strong as those people can still use the equipment as well, and they'll be safe because the strength of a piece of equipment affects the durability of that piece of equipment and the longevity potential of that piece of equipment. But we one more comment, and then I got one final question, and I'll let you go. So the comment, and that goes, this is a perfect comment to close out the comment section for this interview. Matt says, everyone remembers the Michelin star meal they had 10 years ago, but nobody remembers the McDonald's they had last week. We remember the best, not the mediocre. And I think that's a perfect way to say it. I want, we talked about the fact that you do reviews, that you do product reviews. And in fact, my next guest has a product that you might be interested in. So let everybody know how they can get in touch with you. If they're a brand that wants to get you to do a product review for them. And while you're at it, go ahead. You can give your metabolic nutrition affiliate code if you want. Everybody can go try the products and support you.
Yeah. So I actually don't have an affiliate code. Ashley does.
Is it just Ashley's? Okay, that's fine.
Ashley's. I'm very grateful to be a part of Team Metabolic. They've taken care of me in so many ways. But I'm not. I'm affiliated in the sense that I'm a part of the team. I'm not an actual sponsored athlete. I don't get paid to promote their products, but they have, graciously let me be a part of their family. And I talk to the owners on a regular basis, and that's another reason why I'm so pro or loyal to them, is that it's a family-owned business. It's been a family-owned business and operated for the last 38 years, and they've kept it that way. And so what you see is what you get. The owners are very responsive and they're very personable. So I'm about that. I like to know who I'm working with and I like to have that friendship, if you will. So, and like I said, they've always taken care of me, whether it's my birthday or some of my competitions. So I can never thank them enough. They've even brought me down to Florida. So they've great people. So just use Ashley's code. It's just Ashley, and they have phenomenal products. All of it is made in-house there. I've been to their facility, and I was blown away by it. And very knowledgeable people too when it comes to supplements and supplementation. And then if you're trying to reach out to me, I know I don't have the craziest or the largest social media presence, but it would just be, at my Instagram, Dustin_M_Payne. You can find me. It's pretty easy to find me on there, or you can always email me, Dustin.M.Payne or M.Payne@gmail.com. I try to be responsive. I'm always open to people asking about lifting questions. So if anybody, not that I'm a know-it-all or an expert in anything, but if it's anything that you're ever curious about, or you just want to hit me up and chat, you can always DM me. As far as companies, if you want me to review your stuff, I'm here. I'd love to take that on. I'll give a little shout out to somebody that recently reached out to me, was Takeover, and I've got their, I guess they're called Power Sticks. This is a horrible thing. I should start remembering a lot of product names, but they're those weighted sticks that they had them at HomeGymCon, and now I have them, and those things are killer, and they've helped out my recovery game immensely. Ashley and I will take them and roll ourselves out with them every night. But yeah, I'm always open-minded. I won't turn anybody down. So if it's something that you want help with, or you want me to review, or it's just a simple question, feel free to give me a shout out, and I'll do my best to give you my 2 cents on it.
All right, man. Well, look, Sean O'Rourke said he didn't know a lot about you going in, but with all the good energy Ashley puts in your verse, he had to assume he shared that vibe, and this did not disappoint. And I knew I would not be disappointed. I was super excited about you coming on here. Yeah. And I want you to stick around, not like backstage or anything, but I mean, like, I don't know what else you had going on today, but you definitely want to watch this next segment, because we were talking about tendons and ligament health and all that. And so you definitely want to check out my next guest, because when he comes on, we're going to be talking about that as well, and his products. So for now, I'm going to let you go, but stay in the live chat and keep on. If you have any questions, go ahead, make sure you put them in there. And everybody, please go follow at Dustin_M_Payne on Instagram, because you will You will not be. You need to go find. Ashley said that there's a picture somewhere floating around of you dipping a cookie in butter. So go on the Instagram just to find that. All right.
John, I appreciate it. I want to give one more shout out. I want to give a shout out to my boy Jameson. That's someone I met in the community. He's a really close friend. So I want to give him a shout out real quick. And then thanks for having me on.
Sure, man.
One thing that I want to say too real quick is I love how much you watch movies. I want to nerd out with you. There's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of references you make. You're a big movie person like me and comic book stuff, but we'll you and I on the back end, we'll
oh, heck yeah, man. Yes, sir.
Yeah, one love. Hey, to all my gym home peoples. Thank you for having me on. Love y'all.
All right, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So that was my guy, Dustin Payne. And we're going to go right into Nicholas Rolnick. He is backstage. I see him already. And this is going to be my second guest of the day. Nicholas is one of the key people over at SportGrips. So for those who were watching the show last week, I unboxed the SportGrips Sidewinder Revolution 2.0 on the show. And a lot of you had questions, as did I. We were able to see that this product, which I have here, it's been endorsed by a lot of people, one of whom I really respect, and that's Riccardo Magni, who runs Arm Lifting USA, they run some phenomenal grip competitions. We actually live streamed the first arm lifting competition at the Arnold. So when I saw that Riccardo was endorsing this, it kind of took it out of the realm of gadget and more into something that I wanted to take seriously. But I also knew that there would be some skepticism about the product when Nicholas first reached out to me about it. So I asked him to come on the show to answer our questions, mine and yours, about the product, and give him a chance to unpack why he thinks this product should be in your home gym. Now, this is not an infomercial, but I will say that too often when we do product reviews, and not on just me, our channel, I mean just in general, people will come and ask questions in the comment section, which is great, but a lot of times their questions are questions that are best answered by the people who produce the product. So today I'm going to give you that opportunity, and that's why I asked Nicholas to come on here. So Nicholas, thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life, and welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Good morning.
Man, I'm doing great, man. Like I said, I know it's early. I warned you when you got on the show, when you said you were gonna come on the show. I said it's gonna be early, man.
I have a 14 and a half week newborn, so
oh yeah, you haven't slept in 14 weeks.
You know what? I will say that I've been sleeping amazing. My wife, she handles all of the.
Oh, okay. Well, shout out to her then.
Yeah, no, she's crushing it. I have multiple jobs, of which SportGrips is just one of the hats that I wear. I'm always doing something. So she's really the rock of my existence. So I'm very fortunate that I have been able to sleep pretty decently. So I always give her a shout out whenever everyone's like, "Oh, you not sleeping?"
Yeah, I'm like, dude, because I've been where you are multiple times. My wife and I have 5 kids between us, and I've been there multiple times. So shout out to your wife, okay? They do all of the work in labor. They do all the work, and they do most of the work
for
everything. Yeah, they definitely do all the work in the for the pregnancy. So let's talk about your product, man. Because like I said, I don't even know why I put it down, because I know I'm gonna be referring to it. First of all, why does it look like a lightsaber? Let's just start there. All right, this is not in the list of questions, but every time I pick this thing up, I have to resist like doing like the lightsaber thing with it. Okay, so why does this look like a lightsaber?
Well, to be fair, I actually did not invent the product.
Correct.
My father, who's a business partner in SportGrips now, he found the product like over a decade ago.
Sure.
from the original inventor, who was an arborist.
That's Chris Neiman.
Chris Neiman. And Chris was a solopreneur, was kind of, like doing his thing for a decade. There's a number of different products, but the cornerstone is being able to get high levels of resistance in a rotary fashion. So, that's just what the design that he came up with. I mean, we say that this design makes the wrist roller largely obsolete. And I say largely because there might be certain aspects of like if you wanted an eccentric type of contraction for whatever reason, the research really doesn't totally support that you need eccentrics for tendon healing, for example. But if you wanted that, then this is not going to give you that level of resistance in the eccentric. Right. But for muscle building, for creating a very strong foundation for a lot of grip sport, or any sport that requires a large magnitude of grip strength, then this is, an amazing product. And I'm an influencer myself, so I get approached a lot of times to spout products, and there's really only one company right now that I really, outside of just SportGrips, but that has approached me that I really like their product. And so for me, my audience really doesn't, they know that if I'm going to pump something, that it's going to be really good. And the reason being that I got involved in SportGrips was through Marty, using the products, and he developed a personal relationship with this dude, and it developed. And I was bringing this in the pandemic, using this as part of grip strength work, and then I brought it to my clients. I'm a physical therapist by trade. I do personal training as well, so I have a mix of demographics that I work with, and clients were just loving it. They were like, this burn that I'm getting in my forearms is insane. And I was like, I know.
Right.
And so, because I have 14.5-inch forearms. So my forearms are bigger than the average male bicep. I've always enjoyed forearm training and the benefits that it confers with my lifting, and then obviously the aesthetics. But yeah, so fortuitously, I brought one of my clients, manages a hedge fund, and he loved it so much. His employees loved it so much, because kind of what you were doing before, it's like a fidget toy, almost like you can just chill out and you're watching TV, or you're on a Zoom meeting or whatever, and you're just getting your grip work in. Right. And then the events kind of happened where we were able to leverage that connection to purchase the business. And, now we're restarting it. As I mentioned before, this business has been around for a decade plus.
Yeah.
And has a pretty, sizable fan loyalty base for products that we haven't yet re-released. So this is the first product that is the most, I would say, mainstream accessible of our product line. That doesn't mean that it's easy. That doesn't mean that it's not for individuals that are grip strength enthusiasts. It just means that we have heavier hitters in the pipeline that we're looking to re-release in the future. But this product is handcrafted in America. We do everything made in USA, and it's just fun to be able to be involved in something that you actually believe in, and is just really a dope product. So it's really fun to just be involved, and kind of where I'm at right now. It's fun.
So the thing I said about
by the way, to answer your question, I don't know why it's shaped like a lightsaber, because I was not the one that that
Well,
invented.
I'm not talking about the shape. I'm saying like originally, and I was trying to pull up. So when I showed the video of Chris Neiman, I thought that he showed in the video somewhere what it looked like originally, because I couldn't. There are some right. So originally it didn't look like this.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is like now it looks like a lightsaber. It's like, is there something? I mean, I realize this is all the 100% anodized aluminum, and I feel the knurling on it, so people can see right there's like the knurling and all that. So it feels good in your hand, but it just looks like a lightsaber. Like,
yeah, I mean,
like
you know,
and like the spring in here. I mean, like what's, you know.
That's yes. I mean, lightsaber is definitely one of the things that people have said about said product, among other things. But it's yeah, I mean, you know, again, it's looking for a portable but highly resistant way to strength train the forearms. And with if you know, we say that this replaces the wrist roller, and it largely does for the vast majority of people. We're able to get, you know, the wrist roller, unless you're setting it up a specific way, you know, you're really only getting the extensor compartment of your forearms due to this motion here. So you don't really work out the flexors to the same capacity. And the way that this device is set up is it gives you equal resistance in both directions of movement. So you're able to get both ends of the forearm strengthened. And also, because this is unilateral in design, meaning that these two handles are independent, you can actually get rotation based movements. So like a key turn. So you're working on your pronator group and your supinator group, which is honestly a little bit challenging in the typical setting to be able to get that rotary component without a couple of additional pieces of equipment. You could use a kettlebell. You could use, you know, some band work too.
Right.
Again, that involves setup, that involves, you know, having equipment available. I mean, this is 2 pounds. So this is pretty light, portable. I wouldn't take it through the TSA though, because it can be considered a blunt force object.
I was gonna say, it looked like a weapon.
Yeah. So it could definitely do
just put it in your suitcase.
Yeah. Just put it in your suitcase and check it. You're all good.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So when I took this out during the show last week, people immediately, I don't remember who, but you know, people immediately were like, okay, why don't you just get a broomstick? Why don't you just do this? So the first thing I'm going to say, and I want you to address this too, is there are two things that I would say make this an attractive alternative to the wrist rollers that we have already, right? First thing is, gonna be kind of hard to do this with a traditional wrist roller because of how gravity works. Okay, so the weight's down here. It's kind of hard to have resistance. Now you could set up a band, but now you need external things to attach the band to, and whatnot. So that's the first thing that made me say, "Oh, okay, that's interesting," because you can do this. All right. The second thing that I think makes it a little bit superior is because you don't need external stuff. It's all in one. It is a lot more portable because now I'm not. Let's say like there's I think it's a video of you on the beach using it, right? So let's say I want to do that exact same thing with a wrist roller. Well, I got to take weights with me. I got to make sure I take my cord or whatever's going to attach it, you know, to the wrist roller. With this, it's just one piece. But for you, how do you respond to people who react with skepticism, which includes a lot of people in the chat right now, when they see the product and they're like, I don't know if I want to spend $185 on something that is not new, but it's new to me?
I think this is one of the most demonstrable type products. Like if you know what you're holding when you hold it in your hand, basically. I mean, you know, I can understand the skepticism for sure. I think the price point, you know, is a number of different things. Number one, as I said before, we're made in the USA. So we are using all locally sourced materials, and there's cost to that. Let's be honest there. But besides that, we stand firm in having resilient strength training products that last a lifetime. And so we do have a limited lifetime warranty. What does limited mean? That means that if you're using the product as you should or you could, that this should be a one and done purchase for you, because we do have, we are using very high quality aluminum. The process that we get it anodized, the overall, everything within the product is as high of a quality as we possibly can get. Why? Because we know that you're going to beat it up with use. So, for us, the limited lifetime warranty just means that if, our standard verbatim words are, if you don't like it in 30 days, right, send it back. We'll give you a refund. No questions asked. Well, we'll ask a question. We'll ask, hey, what don't you like about the product? What did you not find valuable about your investment here? So that's, but we do a 30-day money back guarantee. So for anybody watching that's like, oh, this might be cool, whatever, try it. Literally, we have 30 days. You can do whatever reason. After 30 days, we just do exchanges if, for example, like something with the product is defective. Like if it starts to excessively skip with use, because inside there are springs, and then there's a little disc, and then sometimes with excessive use that you can start to get, like anything, a little wear and tear in the product. But if we can't troubleshoot it remotely and fix the issue, then that's covered under warranty to be able to get that replaced. But what's not, and same thing with squeaking. So it's metal on metal interface, but again, a little squeaking is acceptable, just given the fact that it's metal on metal. But if it gets to the point where it's interfering with your ability to work out, then that's also covered under this warranty. What's not covered is we can tell when people aren't resetting the resistance on the product. So, if this should be the resting state of the product. If you are doing your workout and then you just leave this completely, in varying states of compression, that wears the spring to a greater degree. And that is not covered under the limited lifetime warranty. So the easiest thing we say to people is, after you use it, just reset it to the base resistance. It's not that hard. It's so funny because I have one of the clinics that I rent space out of, they know me, they've gotten the spiel about it, and I still come back, and I would say at least 50% of the time, this is compressed and stored. So those are the biggest things that, for me, just making sure that if you're trying to extend the longevity of your product that you get, these are built to last a lifetime, but at the same time, it's operated by a human being. So, so if you're going to throw it against the wall, if you're going to submerge it in fluids or add any additional grip-based material to the product, then, those are things that we look at as the knurling is here for a reason. It's a little bit more abrasive than a traditional, just, if we kept it in this piece here. Why? Because we know that people are going to be cranking hard on it. So you need some perch to be able to get that. So you're going to add additional, material to the product. That's that. So we try to just, again, make it so we have, the customer is confident in that, we have a good, highly responsive customer service division led by Marty. I mean, Marty is just on it. If we're able to make a solution, we always want to make lemonade out of a situation if there is any issues. So, again, that's how we run our business. We know some people don't run their business. Like as soon as you purchase, you're out of here. We definitely, because of said fact that we have at least 3 other products that are in the pipeline, we want to develop a client satisfaction that allows us to continue to grow, because that's really what Chris Neiman lacked in his business. Is he created these amazing products, and now our goal is really trying to scale it to the masses, right, and develop and continue to develop but produce these extremely high quality grip strength training devices. Our audience is a small audience. We are not for everyone. Why? Because some people don't want to spend $185 on their grip strength. But for those that do, they're getting a premium American-made product that has decade plus of resist. Even though we updated the internals, and here this product in particular was the lower tier, more mainstream resistance level in the product line. So it already has been out for a long period of time. We have pretty good testimonials on that.
Right.
Like that was, that's
that I do. I could find some old pictures. I was like, I know that's what I mean by like it didn't used to look like a lightsaber.
Yeah. I mean, and again, the issue is, with being and again, we operate also on full disclosure. Like it is what it is. Like this is just business, right? But Chris was running a solo business, so he wasn't able to effectively scale it. So the prices and what was advertised is not scalable prices if we're looking to continue to grow the business. So that's
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm saying like when I'm looking at that doesn't look like as good a product as what you have now, because like the surface right here, there's no knurling.
I can show the size difference is such that there's 2 different Pro Extremes. There's one that's like a smaller version of this with the rubber, and then there's another with that one, the Pro Extreme, which is thicker. It doesn't look as sleek on a photo, but in terms of the rubber, it provides a nice resistance to your hands, so you can get a nice perch, but it's thicker. So it has higher levels of resistance than what the Revolution 2.0 can give. But what I'm just saying and providing context is that, when we're thinking about prioritizing American made, we're thinking about, I want this in the hands of top athletes in the world. And we're very lucky that, my network, I do have those connections of very high level athletes that are using this in their grip strength training for CrossFit, for baseball, etc. And grip sport, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it just, resiliency costs. I mean, it is what it is. Like if, that's why we're not for everyone, but for the people that are looking for the premium top of the line product, I mean, this is it. And I'm not saying that as like an ad. I'm saying that as like, I've tried pretty much every product on the market that is, a surrogate of anything kind of like this or wrist roll or whatever. And that's what I come away with. Like, there really is, no competition, which is why it's nice to just be able to get up here and just talk and be like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And that's why when you try it, like you tried it, it's like, oh, you get it. It's communicating exactly what the value proposition is. Okay, boom. So that's what I say to people that are like, oh, why 185? Try it, see it. If you don't like it,
send it
money
back
guaranteed. Send it back. We'll get it. Get it to somebody who likes it. So
okay. So we have a comment. So Matt Balianu says he suggests you add a small lever to the end to quickly uncompress the spring. So I'll let you know that Matt was so he works for RitFit, but he also has a background in product testing. Like originally beta testing, but now that's what he does now. It's kind of like QCR for RitFit. And he said, so add a small lever to the end to quickly uncompress the spring So that way it's more likely to be decompressed versus people having to unscrew. Because I guess, first of all, there's human nature. So my first job out of college was working at a public gym. And and everybody knows this who's been to a public gym at least one time. People leave their weights out because you're thinking about what you're doing. You get what you need to do whatever exercise that is. Your workout's over, and a lot of people just leave the stuff there because now they're thinking about what I'm going to have for lunch, where I need to go next, or I got to hurry up and go back to work or whatever. They're not thinking about, okay, well, let me pick these up and put them back, right? And I think there's a certain element of that for people not returning the Revolution 2.0 back to the default setting. And there's two other reasons, I think. Another reason I think that plays a role in that is you just finished doing this, right? You're exhausted. Now you want me to do this? That's not happening, right? And then the final thing I'll bring up later on when we get to another question. But what do you think of the suggestion about adding a lever to the end to uncompress the spring to just make it more user-friendly?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to get in touch with my manufacturing guys. I'm not a manufacturer.
Feasibility.
So yeah. I mean, I'm front end, so I deal with relations and et cetera. I mean, I have a familiarity obviously with the product, but that's not my area of expertise. So I would have to defer to people with more knowledge in that domain than me. But yeah, I mean, from what I understand, there's not a lot of space in the inside of the product. Okay. To be able to do something like that. And again, these are all things where as we continue to scale and we continue to sell more units and get more feedback, that we're not locked into any particular direction. I do think that, the biggest thing that critique, that's a valid critique to a degree, in various ways, is in a product like this, it's hard to know what your level of resistance is on a particular
yes.
What is one twist, what is two twists,
right.
And I think I understand that, but I also would kind of toss it back at somebody and be like, all right, well, what is 68 foot-pounds to you? Or like the units of which you would report rotational torque. What are those units to you? They're meaningless. You're just describing a number to a unit that you don't necessarily many people would not understand. So, right. For us, but I do see the value in that. So that's what we're trying to figure out. How can we best create a monitoring system? For me, again, I'm fine with just one twist, two twists, three twists, four twists as a way to track progressive overload over time.
Right.
But I know a lot of people want to be more granular, which is, I understand that. So that is probably the most valid critique of the product that we've received.
Sure.
And again, it's a valid critique, and something that we're internally trying to figure out the best way to address it. But yeah,
I mean, I think that's actually the other thing. I was like, well, how do you track? Because I'm a fan of progressive resistance. So how do I know that I got stronger over time with this thing, right? And I know you said, well, I got to just do it now. So I know you said, so like one twist, right? So the thing is, that's one twist, but how do I know that I twisted it the exact same amount each time? And that's what I'm saying is like, no.
Start here and then all the way one and then go back. But again, I valid,
So my suggestion then, since I hadn't planned on doing this, but my suggestion is to put a tick mark right here. Because you know what I mean? Like this is a starting point. And now if I rotate, now the tick mark's down. Okay, well now I know. And how many times did the tick mark pass that point? That's just simple.
Yeah. No, I think
that's not gonna also add cost because it's easy. It's like, oh, we'll just put a little black mark right up here. Does that make We got hey, what's up, Spencer? Home Gym Hub has arrived. What's going on, man? So now let's move back up because you mentioned that your network, right? And I think that one of the things that one of the comments that was made last week was that people didn't like. I've never heard of an in-grip athlete actually using this. Well, then I'm going through your website and I see Riccardo Magni, who runs Armlifting USA. And I was like, oh, well, there you go. Okay. And I said on the show, I said, well, I'll reach out to Riccardo and get his feedback, right? And I did. So Riccardo and I were on the phone for probably an hour on Sunday. So I did talk to him for about an hour. And you already know this, but just for the sake of people watching, not only did I talk to him for an hour, he gave me a sample program, which I didn't ask for. Okay, but he gave. It's all good. I was actually happy to do it because he gave me a sample program. Like he said, okay, well, tomorrow do this after you, because I was going to bench. He said after you bench, do this with it, and then Tuesday do this as a recovery, because that what he wanted me to see is the two applications, to use it as a finisher, which is one way that he programs it for people he trains, and then the other way as a recovery tool. And both of those, first of all, I liked both of them, and I can see like the value for just building up your tendons, especially if you're somebody who does a lot of lifting. Your tendons get, like I was talking about with my previous guest, your tendons get beat up, your ligaments get beat up. They have a very poor blood supply. So one of the ways to kind of reduce your risk of injury is to get blood in and out of the areas that you're using all the time. And it's very time intensive. If am I going to be doing like wrist, forearm curls, then reverse curls, then reverse wrist curls, then all the different things you can do. Yeah. Then let's do some Zotman curls. Now I'm in the gym all day. Right. And I honestly I live here, but I got stuff to do. So that was something. What was the biggest game changer though for you in terms of helping to get the product out there? Was it like word of mouth? You give it to one client, they use it, then they tell other people, oh, this is cool? Or did it help to get testimonials from athletes like Riccardo? Like, what's helped you to get the word out?
I mean, I think it's a combination of everything. I mean, we're still we took this company over last September. We launched.
Oh, it's new. Okay.
Yeah, we launched the first batch of product in December of last year. So, we're still in our nascency. So it's not, there's a lot of different avenues that we're exploring. Sure. I think, the biggest success that we've had really is a combination of like people using it and being like, wow, like this is something that I'm going to use and bring to the office. Cause I think one of the most cool, weird applications of this is the fact that, well, let's take a step back. My wife, she's involved in social media, she does like brand strategy and stuff for JP Morgan. And so she has all these advanced listening tools, and she was able to look at what are the public facing comments on grip training and grip training in general. And she found that, she found two main things, which were number one, that people think they get their grip strength work just through strength training in general, because they're gripping, they're doing their things or whatever. And then the other, and so it basically becomes kind of like the calves of the upper body, right? Like, yeah. Oh, all right, we're gonna, do forearms now, all right, and then they do like one or two things. The second is that they don't even do it at all, and any sort of adjunctive work beyond just whatever they're doing, in the gym. And so that's where we kind of came up with the catchphrase, or she came up with, "Don't skip the grip," because it is something that when you look at the research, and again, there's challenges with causation, correlation, things like that, because generally speaking, what we see is that weaker people are more likely to have challenges with their, lifestyle. They're going to die earlier, et cetera. That doesn't mean that their grip is the pure determinant of that observe phenomena. It just means that generally the people that are stronger, that are more active, are going to have higher grip.
Sure.
So like it's always just reiterating that fact that you can't just make that assumption. However, when you do have a stronger grip, even relative to your day-to-day tasks, I'm not even talking about athletes. I'm talking about the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s enthusiast who's just wants to be able to garden and be able to go get groceries and not have to worry about their grip endurance. They're being able to open up heavy doors. Those are jars. Those are all things that just generally having a greater flexor and extensor mass and pronator supinator mass can help with providing a nice stable base for
Sure.
some of those intrinsic muscles of the hand to be able to work. And that's when they feed into each other. So being able to offer those strategies is super important. But because people skip the grip, right, the unique application that I've seen happen is people bring it to the office and they get their grip training while they're on Zoom calls. They're just like if I'm like this, and then like you wouldn't even tell. I'm just getting my grip work in. Don't have to worry about it. And so yes, part of us, in terms of what we want is like we already know that the consensus. And granted, this might not be our client demographic, right? Because our client demographic for who we are trying to market to are people that are looking for the newer, the better, the premium, top of the line, alternatives.
Sure.
So these are people that are going to be familiar with the importance of grip strength. But nonetheless, we want to create a protocol that's very accessible to those people who might not necessarily do the Riccardo, where he's going to come up with 2 separate protocols for you. Right? Like the protocol that I do, and the protocol that I recommend is very simple. It's 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off, max sprint. So you're trying to go to heaviest resistance you possibly can, adopt the position of your arms. If you want to work on your tendon strength, then you're going to have an extended arm. If you're going to work on just general muscle development, because the tendon is not going to be as compressed, then you're going to do bent arm. Elevation gets more scapular control. Extension gets a little bit more scapular control because now you're out of neutral. So like those are the type of positional stuff. 20 seconds as hard as you possibly can at the highest resistance you possibly can. 40 seconds of rest. Repeat that 3 times. You're done in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's 3 times a week. Now you've just maximized your grip and forearm strengthening for the majority of people.
So I want to say something too, because again, so the audience that you're talking to right now, there's some of them who are at work actually right now, and some of them are doing manual labor or things like that. They do a lot of stuff with their hands. There are a lot of grip enthusiasts who are watching this. The thing is, I see a phenomena where people will spend enormous amounts of money on their home gym, but it's because everything that they buy has a value to them. But then they'll say, "Oh, well, that's too expensive." I'm like, "You just spent that on this other thing, right? You got 6 barbells, all right? Each one you got 6 $400 barbells in that gym because you just wanted it. You're just buying stuff, that's super expensive because they see the value in it." And I think one of the things that causes people to hesitate, at least the demo, I can't speak for the general population, but I know for the people who watch us, is hey, I appreciate it, Letha. So Letha, she's a personal trainer. She's actually training someone at home right now and so they're watching together. And she said, "My client right now is a physical therapist, and she's loving this conversation."
Shout out to physical therapist. There we go.
There you go. Well, so that goes to the thing is like sometimes people are like, "Oh, physical therapy, that's for people who are injured. It's not for me," right? Well, here's the thing. I know that you were on the Iron Culture podcast. I know you were on 3D Muscle Journey. I know that. But what most people who are watching this, because they can see you from here up, they don't realize that you competed in natural bodybuilding, that you played baseball. So go ahead and let everybody know. I know you said the 14-inch forearms, but that's not resonating with people, right? Like, this isn't like just like the doctor that you avoid going to see as long as you can. All right. Nicholas is one of us. He's a lifter, right? So go ahead and talk about some. So Home Gym Harry said, "Well, I got my gripper out, so I can train my grip while I'm listening." We're halfway there. We're getting there. All right, we're getting there. So go ahead, talk a little bit about your background, including a little bit of the baseball stuff, because I want people to understand that you're not speaking about this just from a theoretical on the dry erase board or the whiteboard, as the kids say now. I just showed you how old I am, right? Because I said dry erase board.
Whiteboard.
I said dry erase board. I'm 52, man. Cut me the slack. But you know what I'm saying? So like they understand that these aren't like theories that you're saying. It's like you also have some practical application in terms of your background as well.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been into fitness since I was in high school and wrestling and playing baseball. And I went to play baseball in college. And then after college, I discovered physical therapy through my mom, actually. She found an ad in Craigslist and it's like, you got to get a job. So I was always familiar with that. I was always familiar with athletic training. But, you know, in college, I didn't really have an idea of like a true passion of what I wanted to do. I knew I liked, you know, working out, but like I was partying. I was in a fraternity. You know, my grades weren't where they needed to get to if I wanted to get into med school. And so I was like, all right, well, physical therapist sounds remotely like athletic training. All right, let's go this. And so I went, and within 6 months, I was like, wow, like this is something that is really could provide a lot of value for the people that I work with, my career, etc. And what was cool about the clinic was that they also did personal training. So it was the clinic, it was a physical therapy clinic that provided one-on-one care, but also had a personal training arm. And some of the personal trainers were the physical therapists. And so it kind of began that model in my head where you can be both. And so middle of 2011, I was like, I'm gonna get my CSCS certification, Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. So that's like, for anybody that's not familiar,
shout out to the NSCA.
Yeah, that's like,
a hard exam.
So basically that's my personality, right? My personality is I was like, you know what? They were like, you the only way you're gonna personal train here is you need your CSCS. So I was like, all right. So I just read the book front to back 3 or 4 times. I made a note stack like this.
You are insane.
And I passed the exam, and then I started personal training. So it's been 14 years of personal training. And then I, because my grades were bad, I decided that, in order for me to become a physical therapist, I'm going to need to get my grades up. So then I went to American University in DC, and American University in DC, I was able to manage a gym. So I had student employees, but I was also dealing with equipment repairs, things like that. And then I also interned at with a strength and conditioning coach as part of my master's degree, like final internship. Where I worked with wrestling, volleyball, and soccer. So I was getting a nice little clip of that. And and during that, right, I decided that I was going to do some natural bodybuilding. And so, I was in the thick of it. I ended up competing in 3 different shows. And, again, it's tough as a natural to try to compete in the NPC. Because people were coming in bigger and leaner than me, and I was shredded. And so that kind of just gave me the bodybuilding experience, going through a couple of preps, and very fortunate that from there, just, I was able to get into physical therapy school at Columbia University. And then I kind of just have been doing my kind of hybrid fitness physical therapy. That's my practice right now. I graduated in 2017. I worked for somebody else for about 6 months. And then I was like, you know what? I started my own practice, and I've been there ever since. And I do personal training and physical therapy. I see some bodybuilders. I'm very fortunate that there was there's a certification that the National Academy of Sports Medicine did a physique and bodybuilding coach certification, and I was asked to do a chapter in that textbook. So, I'm in the bodybuilding community. I've published. That's another area that I haven't even talked about.
Yeah.
But I published over 60 peer-reviewed articles, mostly on blood flow restriction, which is adjacent to physical therapy, bodybuilding, etc. And then and then I'm doing this, with SportGrips. So it's like I kind of live and breathe and fitness, and so it's not like you're going to come to work with me and we're going to do massage. It's like very, very small percent of people that come to me get massage. A lot of this, I am, because I do say that I'm a personal trainer that happens to be a physical therapist, not a physical therapist that's a personal trainer. And the reason why I say that is not to, put one in front of the other, but it's really because exercise is the foundational crutch of everything that we know can be beneficial in impacting human physiology. So making strategies through my knowledge as a physical therapist to help keep people active, help keep people moving, is the reason why, exercise is that, that primary adjunct for how I treat anything, any major, musculoskeletal condition. So it's been really cool because I'm able to do every day, do something that I love, and get paid for it. So it's great.
So that is what, so we did all that so that now we can come back to this. And so, because, and I think it's important because I see a lot of products that people don't know about. And because their favorite influencer, especially in the home gym community, hasn't done a video about it, then they react with skepticism. Whereas one of the things that I really like doing with this show is introducing people to stuff that they may not know about and saying, hey, this is something you should pay attention to if you want to actually be more than just a person that collects equipment. Like, you're not setting up an equipment museum in your house. If that's the thing you want to do, I know people want to do that. Right? That's fine. Totally cool. But if you really like, one of the things that's like, how like people ask you, hey, are you still working out? You still working out all the time? And it used to be kind of like if you're in really good shape, that you're like, what? I don't look like I'm working out? Because they're hoping the answer is no, and that you just kind of like look like that. Like, okay, you work out because they want to know, okay, if I start working out, eventually can I stop and I'll still look like that? And the answer is no. But I think that your body should be a better advertisement for the fact that you have a home gym than your Instagram post about the new stuff that you got, right? So I say that to say that this is a product that I wouldn't have spent an hour on this product here on the show, much less any time off the show, if I didn't think that this is something that people should check out. I realize the cost is an issue for people and all that, but I go back to again saying you spend more than this on other things just because you think it's cool, right? You get stuff because I'm not calling anybody out, but I'm just saying, and in fact, here, I'm going to do this because I don't want to do this to you. All right. I'm not calling anybody out, but look around your home gym right now. Those of you who are at home, how many handles do you have that do the same thing, but you bought them because you bought that one because it's got cool knurling, and you bought that one because you like the color, and you bought that one just, for basically aesthetic reasons. Okay. So this is a product I think that, you guys, I got the links in the video description, so you guys check it out. I was just as skeptical as you are. And I will also say that I get not a dime if you go buy 500 of them, or if you buy one, or if you buy none. I'm not getting paid either way. This is just me saying, oh, this is cool. Yeah, you should check it out. So there's that. Now, having said all that, and I took you off screen so nobody would accuse you of being a party to my when I was talking about people and their attachments. Have you thought about doing competitions with this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think, anybody that's familiar with launching a business could probably relate, in the sense that there's so many things that you need to do in order to get even like just some visibility. And so, you know, for us,
just like do them all at once, and you're like,
it's just, you know, and again, like this business is obviously, you know, a priority for me, but it's not like I'm working. This is
only
my
on
sole gig, right?
Right.
So, you know, I agree that competitions, things like that, could be a nice, unique, especially on social media. I like the idea of before and afters, because I do think that they're a nice testimonial, and you know, we are building those up. But yeah, I mean, I'm open to your ideas. What are you thinking about in terms of competition?
Not a before and after, I promise. So that shows his bodybuilding background just jumped out. All right. So you got like the old EAS competition, cybergenics. Okay. So first of all, good morning, JB. So he's been lurking on here during his workout, and now he's working. So he's just saying hi. So JB actually does product reviews on YouTube as well, and he tweaks products. And Jared wants to know if you're going to be at HomeGymCon 2026. Before you answer that, I'm going to tell you my competition idea, because the two may go hand in hand. All right. So put a pin in whatever you're going to say. So this to me is tailor-made for a head-to-head competition where you get people, and it's like the simplest one is last man standing. All right, everybody, arms out straight. As soon as your arms drop, you're out. You start out and you just, all right, go. All right, and who can last the longest? You can also go with crank it down to, okay, all right, so one turn, got it. All right, crank it.
Yeah, so that we have
that
videos.
kind of
So we have videos.
Yeah.
When I was doing that,
That's just two ideas.
yeah, when I was doing that on social, I would be like, there would be two different videos that we would do, which are, one is, can you twist it at full resistance?
Yeah.
And the second is, how many twists can you last?
Yeah.
Like each of those. Yeah, no. So we have some content there.
So you do like head to head.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea for like a show, like a HGC. Like, you know, I go to American Physical Therapy Association's national conference. So the way that you would do that, Eric, would probably literally just be, you would do a cadence work of boom, boom. So it would be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you just be able to do every second.
I'm doing it for time.
I do it for time too.
Just say, all right, you gotta do it for time, and I'm just gonna watch and see who's gonna last the longest. Like seriously. So Eric is a grip competition enthusiast. So you've got the thing with the where they measure. Oh God, I can't believe I forgot the name of it. No, where so it's an arm lifting event where you grab something and you pinch it and hold it, and then they measure to see how long you're able to hold it up. And if your arm drops or you let go, then you're done. Now I got to look it up. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, just do it for time. Like, all right, everybody go. If you slow, because honestly,
you'll get roasted.
You're going to get tired. Yeah. You're okay. Slowing down. Can you keep going? Sweat's pouring. People are cheering you on. And, you know, you can't drive yourself home. And that's awesome to watch as well.
Well, you try to get there's another concept video that we have, which is like what I have my other client that. It's so funny because a lot of my clients end up buying the product, maybe because they're just doing it to support me, but generally they're like, oh, I just want to have this at home. But we have one where, you know, he's like, it finishes and then he's trying to grab, like, I have a video of him trying to grab his cell phone. Like, literally, it's like your forearm is so pumped that you lose fine motor control, and now it's just like you have to just sit there for like 30 to 40 seconds while you get that while the metabolites get out of your, you know, forearm, and then you're recovering from that exercise. So there's, you know, again, it's
just miserable.
Yeah, well,
but that stuff is interesting for people to watch.
But people also, you know, there are people that love that, like chase the pump, like, you know, that's kind of what we do with the BFR stuff. So it's all good. I like like the idea. For us, I think we've internally settled upon the fact that we're going to need where we could find a lot, because the product is so demonstrable. We should be going to more of these trade shows.
There, Eric just said I'm sorry, because it's a silver bullet event. You have a gripper, and then there's a bullet, and you clamp down. You use the gripper, and it holds the bullet, the silver bullet, up in the air. You hold the bullet, and if your hand opens up, then it drops. There you go.
This is my beautiful wife just brought me coffee, which has been.
Look at this. So she's bringing coffee. Hold on now. She's bringing coffee, taking care of the kids, running social media for JP Morgan. Look at that. Oh, hey. Hey, no. Hold on. You got to leave the baby on screen. This is good for my views.
Screen.
Yeah, what is it? You can't just like show the baby for a second now. Hold on. I went straight into grandparent mode. So I got grandkids. There you go. Hey, there we go. Look at that. That's the real soul. This is the real star. That's why we're all here. Hey, welcome to Earth. How you doing? Yeah. She's like, man, it's cold. Get me out of here.
This is why Daddy works 100 hours a week.
Heck yeah, and well worth it, man. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
But yeah. So go ahead. I cut you off.
No.
I was trying to like remember. I was like, I know the event, and I can't remember what it's called. I just had my mind blanked. But
no, so I was just saying that because the product is so demonstrable. We're going to be making a more concerted effort next year to have a booth or be, at events. Like I think what we're targeting, like the Arnold HomeGymCon. That's the second time we've heard of that conference. Probably since I'm going to be there anyways, because I present at at some of these conferences, we'll do the American Physical Therapy Association. So yeah, I mean it's just easy because then you'll be like, again, this is just what I do with any of the product. They look like people that have never seen it. They're like, what is this? And I go, well, I'm going to twist it. And I just want you to turn it back and forth. Oh,
I get it. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just like very easy. That's the biggest thing where, again, and I totally get it because I'm a very skeptical person with a lot of these fitness equipment. I think simple is better in a lot of these, contexts, particularly with what we're learning about strength training. I think again, this is my high horse of and my soapbox of the unneeded complexity that people are creating on social media for whatever reason. But I'm a highly skeptical person. So when I first was, when my dad first showed me the original Revolution, and we're using it, I was like, what the hell? This is looks so stupid. And then then all of a sudden the light bulb goes off because you're just like, whoa, I can actually create significant levels of resistance. I don't have to do a stupid the dumbbell work, which is so annoying because you just need, and especially it's annoying because I'm doing dumbbell wrist curls with 85 pounds. So where am I going to have that, be able to get that level?
Especially if you're traveling.
Yeah, especially
now you're in the hotel, because that's what Riccardo said. He's like, when he's traveling, it's easy for him to take that with him because he can continue.
You pair that with blood flow restriction, which maybe just since I've said it a couple of times, BFR is just it's called blood flow restriction. You basically wear some sort of cuff that's applied to your arm or your leg, that's inflated to a pressure that's, you determine via XYZ, Doppler ultrasound or an equipment that has it built in, and then you exercise. And what it does is it replicates high intensity training environments with little to no loads. And so that's, pairing that with something like this or any sort of extremity work is a great rehab strategy if you're dealing with aches and pains. But it's also bodybuilding. What we understand about the stimulus that you can get from BFR with light loads is it creates that same muscle growth as if you were going to lift heavy. And so when you have bodybuilders that are deep in prep that are, you if anybody has ever competed in bodybuilding, that even though you look amazing on stage, you're probably feeling the worst you've ever felt walking at 5% body fat. And then you have to pose and you have to look happy. Meanwhile, you're miserable. So my point is just that typically load tends to drop off because injury risk tends to increase, especially as you're in a deficit. So your so BFR could be a strategy in bodybuilding, and I've been fortunately been able to co-author a number of these papers, but specifically with relation to bodybuilding, I've done 4 papers now with bodybuilding and BFR. So definitely an option when you're using this with travel, like Riccardo, you're saying with Riccardo.
I mean, I think it's cool because, like I said, I mentioned to you when I sent you the list of questions, is like, now that I'm in my 50s, it means more to me. Like, I'm willing to do the extra little things. I would never have dreamed about buying some of this stuff. So like, you got people, for example, who like are fans of the Donnie Thompson's bow tie. Well, when I was younger, I'm like, I'm not going to buy something like that. I'm not interested in some of this stuff. I just want to lift, man. Let me just work out. Why do I need all this stuff? Well, now that I'm in my 50s and I've experienced the aches and pains with no discernible cause. I just got out of bed and I'm like, oh, why am I sore or whatever? Yeah. I don't like that, so I'm willing to do the extra mile so that I don't have those aches and pains, because I just want to be able to live. And I've got grandkids. I want to be able to get on the floor with them and play and all that kind of stuff, and not have to like come up with a plan for how am I going to get back up after I got on the ground. So I only got 2 questions. We went a little bit over the time, but
yeah, I got 2 questions left. So yeah. We're good. I just got another 10 minutes.
Oh, well, this is on you. If you talk longer than 10 minutes, it's not my fault. I just want to know, what do you wish people knew about the Sidewinder Revolution, but nobody ever asked you?
You sent that to me last time, and I had a hard think about it. Sure. I think people don't appreciate the amount of thought and consideration that goes into the end, result of why we make the decisions that we make and how we're presenting it to the general, population. I think we've worked really hard behind the scenes to continue to work on the internals of the product to further its, multiple aspects of the product. So for example, we were finding that earlier versions of the product, even if we were able to create higher levels of resistance, there was way more issues in terms of manufacturing, in terms of like challenges post-purchase. And so we went back to the proverbial drawing board with the inventor. And we wanted to create a resistance. So this is the second piece. So the second one was, when we were doing it, we would get high levels of resistance, but the resistance wouldn't be finely tuned. So it wouldn't just be like, oh, you're going up. It would be like, whoa. And so we went back and we created an internal mechanism, and that allows for a much finer resistance curve to be able to get whatever the ideal resistance would be for that particular exerciser. So I think people think that, oh, this is just, another fitness product. And yeah, it's a fitness product, of course.
They think it's a shake weight.
But yeah, the shake weight, exactly. Yeah, like, and the thing is that this is meant for serious, serious use. And, yes, it looked pretty. But again, the reason is, it needs to have that perch. And yes, it might be a little bit abrasive, but that's by design.
I promise you, the crowd that you're talking to loves knurling.
Okay, yeah. So like, it is by design, like created to give you that perch. So yeah, gotcha. I think that's probably what I would like to see. And then I think people also have to, should appreciate that, like, we're not satisfied with any product that we would ever release. We're always looking for ways that we can improve. Like, in fact, during this, I sent a message to Marty about making sure that when we have our next launch of the product, that we add a tick in the on the end. So like, that'll happen, because I think that's a good, easy way that we can partially address an issue. Sure. And so we're always looking for, again, I'm a body, again, it's if you and again, I'm not a garage gym enthusiast, so I don't necessarily know that demographic, but I can speak on bodybuilding. Bodybuilders are going to try everything for a modicum of gains. So
Sure.
I've tried a lot of different things, and I will always continue to try to improve upon these things. Not because it's like, oh, it's literally because of me. Like I want to be able to put my name and associate my name with something that is premium world class level. Right. And that's everything that I do. That's my physical therapy practice and my personal training, how I educate other people, everything. So it's a pride thing. And just know that if you see issues, please bring them up, because we do take those into consideration, because we do have that level of pride to address things. And we already know some of the things that we need to work on, and we're working on them in the back end. But that doesn't mean that the product isn't still best in class. It's just, we always want to be better. So
yeah, I mean, the people at Mercedes are always improving the car, but it's still pretty good as is.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, that would be really, for us, the biggest thing of what I hope people take away. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you that there is no better community for giving you good feedback, in my opinion, than the home gym community. And so I actually echo what Jared said about going to HomeGymCon. We could talk about all this offline, but I'm just going to say that HomeGymCon would probably be a great place for you to go. You just take the Revolution, hand it out to people, and just let them try it. And I think that once they get it in their hand, you'll get a lot of people like, oh, okay. And you actually get some ideas from people to be like, oh, you could do this, or whatever. Our community is huge for giving feedback for stuff like that. But with that being said, tell everybody how they can keep up with everything you guys have going on. So give the website information if you want them to follow you on social media, order one of your BFR courses so they can say they've learned from the human performance mechanic, all that. So go ahead and give all that information.
First and foremost, even though you for whatever reason don't want to be compensated, we did create a code that will give $10 off.
He's like, I don't understand this guy that doesn't want money.
Again, more power to you. But we did create a Garage Gym 10 code that's specific for this audience. So if you want $10 off, by all means. Cool. But in terms of following us, our Instagram account, SportGrips. My Instagram account is the HPM, THEHPM. I think that's where I'm largely the most active. I do have a BFR account, the BFR Pros as well, where we do education. But it's more catered to, rehabby type audience, but nonetheless, there's value there. And then if you ever wanted to reach out to me, Nick at sportgrips.com. I think that's probably the best way, and would welcome, as I said, any feedback. If you end up getting the product, we, as you said, take a lot of pride in what we do, and nothing is ever good enough. So, we rely on feedback from people outside our bubble, looking at the same piece of equipment, which sees it in different ways. Like, for example, like you just said, Riccardo did a recovery protocol. I'd be interested to find out what that actually entails, because that did not come on my radar. But that's why it's nice to see something. You put something out there into the ether, and you see what returns. And the only thing that we can do for us is just continue to do the best we can, respond intelligently to people's feedback, and do what we can. So the last little thing, again, if you're listening again, Garage Gym 10 for the discount code. You can just go to sportgrips.com, check us out. And as always, again, if you need to reach out to me, Nick at SportGrips, be happy to answer any questions, or on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate your time. And we had an impromptu meeting with your baby and your lovely wife. So thank you for all that. And man, definitely had a good time talking to you. I'll shoot you an email. Once again, tell Marty I apologize for his phone number going into the junk folder. I did not know. I didn't realize it. I just saw the area going, what is this? Get out of here. And then so that's my fault. But definitely, I'm going to reach out to you guys.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk early, and I was able to come outside, get my vitamin D.
There you go.
Get some work done. So
there you go.
What a better way to start my Friday.
There you go. Hey, that's exactly the point of the show. That's a good way to end it right there. There you go. I appreciate you, Nicholas. Thank you, man. You have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, later. All right, so that was Nicholas Rolnick. Like I said, this is a guy who is I wanted to make sure that you guys understood that this isn't some theoretical guy just kind of making random stuff and trying to get your money, but he's not technically one of us because he's not. He actually may be my first guest who doesn't have a home gym, but he does make equipment for the home gym, so we'll let it slide. But I wanted to make sure you guys understood that this isn't just like a theoretical thing. It is not just something that it's not a product that I started out skeptical when I opened the product up, but over the course of the last 5 days, I've been converted to it being a useful piece of gear and, in my opinion, a valuable addition to your home gym if you want to have stuff in there that actually makes you level up yourself, even though it's not necessarily one of the popular products in the home gym community right now. That may change, and I am going to try to get him to come to HomeGymCon. But regardless, I will have let me go ahead and make sure I'll put it on my calendar so I don't forget, because at the next HomeGymCon, which is a long way away, but I will have mine with me. And if there's ever any, I know I see some of you guys in person from time to time. So if any of you guys like Rory or Jared or anybody who like just go say, hey, you guys want to check it out, I'm happy to let you guys check it out as well. We'll work it out. Okay. So that's it for today's show. Thank you to my guests, Dustin Payne and Nicholas Rolnick, for stopping by and making this a success. Next week, we've got Jason Benoit from Exponent Edge. He's going to be joining the show. We're going to be talking about his partnership with and involvement with the Freak Athlete ABX. We're also going to talk about some innovations that he has coming out for his own company, Exponent Edge, and as well as behind the scenes stuff to talk about, because there are going to be updates to the Infinity Bench itself. So got a lot of stuff to talk about with him. I cannot wait to see you guys next week. But until then, keep on posting in the community section. Keep on sharing the link to this playlist so other people can check it out. Shout out to the replay gang, because I know you guys are out there and I haven't shouted you guys out yet. Appreciate each and every one of you who comes and watches the show, even on replay. And really, it makes my Friday. I try to give you guys a good start to your Friday, because every one of you gives me a great start to my Friday when I see you guys in here commenting and watching the show. So thank you so much for that. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you guys next week. Until then, you know what I say, keep on stacking days. Peace out.